Hello, welcome. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know. Is the sound okay? I'll wait. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How's the sound? Who's here? You hear me? Okay, great. Thank you. Just wanted to hang out real quick. It's clear. Hey, Aaliyah. Welcome. Hey, Karen. Oh boy, this is great. Okay, let me get on the screen. Wait a minute. What's going on? Here it is. Well, hello. I'm trying some new equipment out, okay? So bear with me. How's it going? Okay. Trying to set this thing up, okay? Hello. Let me know if things are good. How are you doing in the chat? Just look, some new stuff. We have to always have new things going on. Excuse this. I'm putting a henna in my hairs. So who does henna out there? This is kind of like just, hey, we're hanging out. Nothing real scripted. But yeah, I put a henna in my hair, okay? And it's a two-step process. Yeah, so yeah, it takes a while. It's not as quick as the other dyes, which I have put in my hair, but I'm trying to be more organic, aren't you? So yeah, so I'm doing henna. And for me to have dark hair, I told you that my mother doesn't want me to go gray yet. So I'm blaming it on her. I don't mind going gray because my gray is mainly right here, just like few pieces. So I just did spot henna, and you have to do like a red first, and then you put the indigo. Okay, so mother of messages, right? What do we do these things for our mothers? I was surprised my mother told me that, okay? She was like, yeah, I'm not ready for you to go gray yet. She's not ready for me to go gray yet. Okay, mom, I would love if it just came all like white, just all at one time. I just don't like the slow graying process because I think gray hair is amazing. When I see people that have the just white or just a little bit of pepper, oh my gosh, right? Mother of messages, your mom told you the same thing. Your mom used to do that to you. That's so funny, right? Mothers can do that like real subtle, like when you're gaining weight or losing too much weight. They just have a way of saying it. So that's mothers. Mr. Okel, you're hanging out. Hello. I'm glowing today. Thank you. Thank you. You love the look, Karen. Thanks. In fact, Karen, I got this little This little cap, I got it in New York, actually, New York, when I was nursing during the pandemic of 2020. So, I want to say, I loved working with the New York nurses. Okay. Shout out to you if you still follow anything I put on social media. You know, I was the crazy one that wouldn't wear the mask and I was questioning everything. I know you thought I was a conspiracy theorist. You stopped you stopped ordering Uber Eats with me, right? Not all of you. Not all of you. I'm not bitter. Okay? I don't want anybody to think I'm bitter. Just saying. Just saying, okay? Is it okay? But I enjoyed you all in New York. Fabulous time. And this little cap, one of the nurses, now check this out, because people were just doing really nice things. So she made these beautiful. She said she had extra fabric. And at the time, we had a lot of time on our hands, didn't we, in 2020? So she just had a lot of time on her hands because you couldn't do anything. Everything was closed. So I lived in a like hotel type of deal. Josephine was there. If you hear Josephine, she's talking to the birds. She thinks she's a bird. Does your cat do that? Like talk to birds? And the birds like they troll her. It's so crazy. Like they fly near the window. One of the birds is so crazy. I call him the angry bird, but he dives into the window and taps the window. Have you ever seen any aggression like that? This is kind of new for me. But the bird like just flies by and dives and she's like talking and chirping. It's really crazy. Let's see who's here first. Let me go up to I'm going to scroll up. Alan's here. Oh my gosh, Alan, you're hanging out in the morning. Hey Alan, how's it going? Molly Moose is here. What? Yeah, early. I don't know. I put the henna in my hair. I was like, why not go live? I didn't want to just have the henna just exposed. Women, we can't just cam up and just look like anything, right? You guys could just, it's easier for you, is all I want to say, okay? Anybody who does content, you know what I'm talking about. When you cam up, you just can't cam up and look like anything if you're a woman. Men, you guys could cam up like just whatever. Wake up, get to the camera, and you look fabulous, right, ladies? Fabulous? I don't know. But you don't have to worry about it. In other words, Donna, hello. Welcome, welcome. DK, me? Hello. Oh, it is Saturday. It's Saturday. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Catterday. Penny, Lynn, good morning. AI, well, hello. Sound is good. Thank you for that. Donna Lee, did I say you? Oh, Ali, I saw you. Hey there, Linda. Look at that. Good morning. I see names I don't see a whole lot. I guess, when you catch everybody different times of the day, it works out, It works out sometimes. Sean is here. Sean, what's up? Sean. Let's see. What did you say, Alan? Once you get over the fact that your hair is graying, you'll be fine with it. I do. You know what? Isn't it funny that when it comes to gray hair, the younger people, were getting their hair grayed? Remember that? I don't know if that's still a thing. Let me know. Are they still doing that? The millennials, and I don't know if these other like younger people were into it, but it seemed like it was a millennial trend with the gray, and it was beautiful to see. I don't know. What do you think? It was kind of nice, right? I would talk to my daughter about it because it was just a big thing for the millennials. And just talk and just be very philosophical about why were the millennials doing this? Why do they want to have gray hair? It looked beautiful, but it was just kind of, seeing a very young face with all gray, just a little different. We had to get used to it. But they wanted gray hair. My thing was, tell me what you think. I thought it was because we don't have a lot of wisdom anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? Don't be offended, but I'm being accountable. The Gen X's, we screwed things up. We didn't do a good job with this whole situation. And we handed the millennials a bag of crap. We did. So I tell the truth. I want to make it better, but I'm just saying. And baby boomers, you guys get real, I know, sensitive. We can't talk about the baby boomers, they're the greatest generation. We're not doing generation wars. Don't accuse me of that. Sentinel is here. Well, hello. Welcome from Spain. It's so nice when you come around, Sentinel. Sentinel had to recently let me know that, yeah, right, Sentinel? B Wolf is here. Hey, Cheeky. I like that, Cheeky. Alan, what are you saying? Cats can charm birds and squirrels out of a tree. That's funny, really? Maybe that's what she was trying to do, and they like caught her at her game, right? Josephine was outside trying to charm them because she does want to catch. She wants to hunt. And I keep like blocking. I'm like the blocker. She wants to be wild, and she wants to kill things. And I'm like, no, not on my watch. You're not killing everything. But the birds, they're kind of bold. They know what what kind of energy she's bringing. But she doesn't go outside anymore. I told you, right? She doesn't want to go. So I don't know what to do. What are you going to do? Can't make her go outside. Hey, Mish. Mish is here. Hey, good morning. Gladys Kravitz. Hello, good morning. Yeah, so Josephine, Mrs. Harris is here. Hey, John, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while. Was it something I said? It's been a minute, right? Let's see. Karen said, because the Gen X wanted to give their kids what they didn't have, and forgot to give what they did have. Your opinion? Oh, yeah. I mean, I saw something recently. By the way, Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, if you were kicked off of Twitter, we all were kicked off of Twitter, right? If we were talking about the jabba jabs, if we questioned the narrative, we were kicked off of Twitter, right? So I was kicked off of Twitter at the same time that President Trump was, right? You were too. Most of us here, we've been running in these whatever streets for a while, right? Together. We've been like, it's a marathon. We've been like, I look over here. I see Karen. I see Girl Code. I see Sean. We're still in the marathon, right? Shout out to all the Nipsey references. Yes, the marathon continued. It did. But we've been running this marathon. And yes, so we got deplatformed off of Twitters. Okay, no, listen. I don't care if I get my original account back. I just started a whole new Twitters, okay? If you get on the Twitters, you can catch me if you want, okay? I'm at just my name, Jennifer Easton Washington. I've added my Washington in, so it's a long name, yes. But it's my name, okay? So yes, Twitter is lit again. It is lit. The real Madre. Oh, I'm gonna start coming on more often in the morning because it's like a little reunion. Hello, the real Madre. You said good morning, Jen and fam. Got to catch it live. Yeah, thank you. Can't wait for Twat or Amnesty. So yeah, a lot of people are going to be getting their accounts back. I don't know because I've lost a YouTube channel or two, and when you lose accounts, especially anything tied to Google, You can't get on your email that you had. It messes everything up. So anybody who's been creating content that went against the narrative, you know what I'm talking about. You probably have lost your access to your old Google emails and things like that. It becomes very cumbersome. But as I say, when me and Girl Code talk about this stuff, we just keep pressing because it's a marathon and it's not for the faint of heart. Is it? No, it's not. So we just have to encourage each other. I want to always make sure I keep a space that we can hold on these platforms. Okay, so I'm still here. I didn't make the Black Power fist. Sorry, I almost did it. But anyway, I'm still here. I'm still here. Aurora, that's a name I haven't seen in a while. Good morning, and family. Central Cali, that's right. I love Central California. That's where you grow everything, the fruits and the nuts, right? It's amazing out there in Central Cali. That's right. You never give up. Never give up. So I just started a whole new Twitter. You know, if they bring my old account back, how will I even know it? Can you tell me how will I know that they brought my old account back? If I don't have my same access, I don't know. I'm just saying, I just started a new one. That's all. Alan, oh my God, Alan. Well, thank you. I will come back on more often in the morning. Thank you, Alan. Alan, for the super love, super chat, whatever it's called. I love it. Thank you. You know, I'm learning all this stuff. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. Yes. So okay. Oh, let me go back to this. Oh my gosh. Okay. Remember when I used to do live streams and my nose would run? Who remembers when my nose would start running like a faucet? Who remembers? I just want to know who out there remembers. Oh wow. I won't read that one. You know, try to keep the channel. Jenny, yes, you know I love all my Jennies, my favorite people, Jenny peoples. You love this? Well, let's do it again, okay? Don't leave me hanging, Jenny. Jen. Yes, Jen. So yes, okay, so this is the thing. Okay, look. Do you remember? You remember? It's so embarrassing, right? Donna remembers. Okay, if you're just new to the craziness here, the chatmosphere that we hold space here, when I would do live streams, okay, every single time, I'd be fine before the camera went on. Soon as the camera went on, my nose would start running. It would run like a faucet. And I don't know why, but Donna remembers somebody waxed really like philosophical, you know, like, and they explained it. But I should have, like, you remember too. The real madre remembers. Alan, you remember? My nose would just be running. You remember? See? You can't take yourself that seriously. This is part of what I want to talk about too. This kind of lines up with what I want to talk about. Let's hang out. So yes, if you're new, yes, my nose would run, but it doesn't run anymore. Have you noticed that? It stopped doing it. I don't know. Look at my hands. Look. Paul Romano always talks about people's hands being big. Okay, I have big hands. I'm like 5'10". Okay? So don't start with the she might be whatever's. Listen. Don't start. Who else remembers? Gladys, you remember? You notice it stopped doing it too? What happened? Do you know why? Derek. Excuse me. keep a hanky close by. I had to, Derek. They know, like, I would have boxes of tissues. I would always have, like, if I had something I was wearing with pockets, it was stuffed with tissues, like my grandma when we were in church, okay? Yeah, so yeah, I definitely keep hankies close by. I have this little rickety chair. These are other things that happen. I know you hear the chair, right? It's an old wooden chair. It's an heirloom. So I don't have one of those fancy chairs like it looks like you're on the Starship Enterprise. You know, the ones that go way up. Woo! I want one though. I want one. I want to look more like real. Whatever that is, right? We're going to talk about that too. This Jenny loves you. Oh, thank you. Yes, Jenny, you all have a special place in my heart. Paul, good morning. Finally caught alive. Is your day off? Well, nice. You're watching the grandkids. How nice is that? Thank you for hanging out, Paul. Okay, I'm just refreshing the chat. Rudy and the dogs. I love the names, okay? It's the names for me. Okay, Rudy and the dogs. Jennifer, she said, L. Lloyd, J. Cole, and the Commotions. Oh, really? Tell me what that reference is, okay? Did I probably missed something in translation. Tell me. You know Sean's gonna say something funny. Your nose runs and your feet smell. It's my brew. She brews. Don't start with me, ADL. I brew, okay? I brew. I'm a she brew. You take that, ADL. You can't sue me. What are you going to take? Y'all already, look, what are you going to do? I said it, I'm a she brew. Oh, that's what it is. I've ascended. Thank you, Derek. Is that it? It was the mud water. Was it the mud water? I don't know what it is. Just stopped. It just stopped, you know, and I'm just saying. I don't know. The spoon is a spoon time. That's right. You guys can report me to the freaking ADL. I don't care. I don't care. I'm at an age I don't care anymore. Okay. I'm a she brew. Toast. Little something. Wait a minute. Let me just get my stuff all good right here so I could talk to you. So nice. I just love lemon, right? Lemon. Okay. So I think I've said hello to everybody. If I haven't, look, just don't hold it against me. Just if it's something I missed, just put it in there again. Okay? Because I know that I could I could miss it. She brew. That's right. I'm a she brew. Is that okay? Is that okay with you? Okay. Down to some business. Oh, before I start, I posted this the other day. Report me to the ADL. Wait a minute. Let me just put this on. What did Karen say? That's right. What you gonna take? Who gonna check me, ADL? I'm a she brew. Well, thank you, the real Madre. Yes, a little love, or you can wait till after this stream. If you want to wait for your like, I'm okay with that, okay? You may have to see how things turn out first before you like the video. You could like it on your way out. It's okay. Oh, wait. Okay, let me get myself together. I want to go through a few things, talk about a few things. We started out with Twitter is lit again. We're going to talk about free speech. Yesterday, I happened to catch, I feel real, I need my microphone. I have to set things up again. I'm trying to do this where I try some different type of tech. Okay, if I want to get better with the camera stuff. So this is not the camera. The camera I'm using right now is not the camera I use normally. You probably can tell that, right? I'm still doing the looking there at you. It's something. It's a habit that I'm working through. Okay, yesterday I happened to catch a, what is it called? Spaces on Twitter. Now this Spaces, have you heard of Spaces? It's very nice. Very nice. Oh, I don't have it on this one. That's the thing too. Okay. When you're when you got deplatformed and you have to work with all these different, like I had to do this on this one, I do this on this device, I do something else on this device. If you have ever gone through it, it's okay. It helps you keep your mind, I guess, where you can do more things. Okay, so yesterday I happened to catch what's called Twitter Spaces. And the title was Free Speech, Censorship, Media Manipulation, and Twitter's Role. It was hosted by a lady named Nicole. And it's similar to Telegram, where it's more of a conversation, or it's like Clubhouse. Now, I don't like to tell you all to just do another app. I really, when I did the Clubhouse thing, I just started a Clubhouse because I was watching a content creator and they would do their content and then go to Clubhouse where they could talk more freely. And that was my first time getting on Clubhouse because their content was very engaging and I wanted to continue to listen to it where they weren't censored, okay? And this is what it is. We've been nimble. I love the word nimble. We've been nimble, a lot of us, because of censorship and being driven off of platforms. So a lot of platforms have sprouted up and some of them are really nice, but it's a lot. And I know it can be overwhelming. That's another thing I want to say to people that are in my generation or older. Just be nimble, okay? Be nimble with your mind. Don't always just shut things out, cut things off. I don't do that. I don't know how to do that. Or don't do that to yourself, please. You can learn all of this technology. You can learn how to be very good at it and master a lot of it. It's a mindset. Just don't let your age, you know what I'm saying? Don't let your age stop you. So you might want to get onto another platform. Some of the things that some of the younger people are working in, it doesn't mean that you can't be there. So Twitter Spaces is similar to Telegram. And I know a lot of people got on Telegram. It was a learning curve and things like that, but we did it. So we can do it with other things. We can come back to Twitter as well. I hope a lot of you do come back to Twitter because Twitter is, and this is my recent observation, tell me if you notice it too, but Twitter is not an echo chamber. Do you know what I mean? You can hear from people that totally disagree with you. You can see their comments. And you can see people that totally agree with you. And then you can see people that are kind of in the middle, like asking questions. They're like, what's going on? They're the ones like, what's going on? They're like Marvin Gaye. What's going on? People that never know what's going on, they come in like, what's she talking about? What's going on? They're in the movie theater with you, watching the same movie. Well, what just happened? And you're like, you know what it's like. So you have people that are the full spectrum on Twitter. I personally do not like echo chambers. How about you? Do you like to be somewhere where everybody just agrees with everything you're saying all the time? Just tell me. Alan's saying, we have freedom of speech, but we do not have freedom of the consequences of our speech. Yes, that is such a good point. Yes, speech is free, but what does free mean? It's free to say it, right? You're not going to physically, you should not physically have anything happen to you, right? But I have to say, as a nurse of many years, I worked at Grady in Atlanta. Anybody know about Grady? Grady is an indigent hospital in Atlanta for people, for our overseas friends, okay? And it is like a world unto itself. It's rappers have rapped about it. It's a notorious hospital. And a lot of times I worked in trauma, so I was a nurse case manager for trauma, and the traumas that would come into Grady were from, very, very extensive trauma. But we had a lot of people that had the dislocated jaws. You know what I'm talking about? Lots of dislocated jaws. I'm not laughing, but I'm saying we would have conversations, okay? And the people that would come in with their dislocated jaws, they'd have to have emergency surgery. That's not a light thing, okay, by the way. So they get bumped up for their surgeries. But it was always because they said something, and somebody, just like Alan said, freedom of consequences. It's no freedom from consequences, however. So the people that come in with the dislocated jaws, they said something to someone. And they never wanted to admit that maybe you said something, you shot off your mouth, and to the person who maybe doesn't have control of the pulse, right? Some of you are like that. You don't have good control of your pulse. So, that's what would happen, right? Yeah, what he's saying, someone relocated their jaw. There you go, Shafty Grady. It's known as, Shady Grady. So we would have a lot of, and nurses are shady. Okay, nurses out there, let's be honest. Nurses are shady people. What they talk about in the nursing unit, you would not like to know, right? I know I'm snitching, but I'm not in the club anymore. So, but I used to snitch when I was in the club. But yeah, nurses are shady. So one of the things that, would be said when the people come in with the dislocated jaws, it's like, yeah, I know. You were sitting on a bench, you were reading the Bible, minding your own business, and the person just came up and just clocked you. I know that's what it was. You were minding your own business. And that's just what happens, right? You end up with a dislocated jaw and busted out orbitals. That was another one. Fractured orbitals all the time. Yeah. So, especially on the weekends, the bar brawls, we got it all. Hey, Rawhide, welcome. Nurses, I can't read that, okay? Okay, well, that's unfortunately true as well. I've taken care of a lot of nurses as patients. Yes. So you are absolutely right. Yes. So, yeah, okay, Twitter Spaces. Now, I took some notes. I know Nicole, she didn't record the Twitter space conversation. And she said she didn't want to do it because she hadn't asked everybody if they mind. And I like that. That's part of what you call, I call it, and probably other people call it, social media etiquette. If you're on a Zoom or anything, you want to ask the person, is it okay if we record it? So that's cool. And so she didn't record it, but she did ask if anybody took notes. I didn't take extensive notes. She was like, you could send her, if you took notes. So it was maybe, how many speakers? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 speakers. And everybody else was a listener. So you don't have access. And what I like about that is it's not a free for all. It's not everybody just ba 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 ba. So she had her assigned people that she invited to her Twitter space. And I'm just talking about it because it's something I want to do with you all. If we want to do the Twitter space, I'm just back on Twitter not that long, so it's going to take a minute, but I just want to put it out there as planting a seed that Twitter Spaces might be something nice for us here in the chatmosphere. So give it a thought. And if we get enough people connected, especially, we could do that, have nice conversation. I thought this was a wonderful conversation. Not everybody agreed with each other. Now, Shiba Toshi has a avatar. It looks like a Shiba Inu. What is that dog called? The Shibu Inu. If I didn't say it right, don't call me a racist. But I remember this account from when I was on Twitter with my old account. You all might remember Shibu Toshi and Zuby. I love Zuby. I hadn't seen Zuby since first time around on Twitters. So Zuby was a speaker, and then I wasn't familiar with the other speakers, but Shibu Toshi, maybe I came in late. I didn't hear too much. Maybe Shibu Toshi was just listening. And Nicole, the host, she didn't engage. She wasn't really talking. She was more so keeping the continuity of the conversation. So I like the format. And different people spoke, and you could send like a emoji as a listener to let them know how you were feeling about what they were saying. So that was different. And the notes that I took, I want to talk about some of them, see what you think. Let's see. A Shiba Inu, did I say it right? Shiba Inu. Yeah, cute dogs. It's a sheep. Oh, you have a sheep husky mix. Oh, cool. Nice. Well, look, Sean, I don't know. It's so many, like, you can't say anything anymore. People get triggered, right? Drug adult races. That's right. We've gotten used to being like all these names, right? Nurse Ratchet. Uh-oh. That's right. That's right. So I gotta check, the StreamYard. Oh, I don't have the upgraded StreamYard. You know what? I love the upgraded parts of the apps and stuff, but I've had to rein it in, right? We got a budget, we talk about that, money. But in budgeting, I had to decide. You all know that I love doing the creative stuff. So that's a splurge. But I can't splurge on all of these apps. You know what I'm talking about? And then you got Apple. Apple charges you. Then these things start to add up. Do you all know what I'm talking about? So if you noticed, I let my StreamYard go down to the free package. Yes. So that's right. You're going to see StreamYard in the corner. Do you see it? Am I pointing right? This is a weird thing, getting you right here. StreamYard. And besides, I wasn't really pleased with StreamYard, the extra features. I wasn't even using them. So whatever. Let's see. Who's here? Anybody new? Welcome if you're just joining. We're just chatting. Sean, a Subaru driver. Okay. So, okay, Sean likes Subarus. Subarus. I like Subarus. Paul has a wire-haired Schnauzer, Chihuahua. I love Chihuahuas. Mix. Cute as a button. I bet, Paul. Oh my gosh. I love Chihuahuas. I have a friend, Virgin. Oh my gosh, I love her. I miss her. I haven't seen her in a long time, but Virgin has the cutest Chihuahuas. You know how certain people, they go and pick out the cutest pets. They just have like a knack for cute pets. And I know it's not all about cuteness, but I'm just saying. Her Chihuahuas, every one that she's ever had, just the cutest, made me want to get a Chihuahua. So yeah, this is the Saturday porch chat. I wish I was on a porch with you right now. I was just imagining. I tell you all that all the time. I wish we could sit on the porch and sip on something nice. I don't know what you want to sip on, but we could just sit and chat, talk about anything, right? That's what it used to be like when I grew up in Philadelphia. My grandmother lived in West Philly, and you know, the row homes, or some people call them town homes, and your porch was, you know, with your neighbor connected. So my grandmother would come out on the porch different times, and each neighbor, they would sit out, especially in the evenings on a summer evening or night. Some people would just sit out and get fresh air. It was so nice. And you would talk over the fence to your neighbor, because it wasn't a high fence. It's just like, you know, maybe you know what I'm saying, just a little bit to give you some boundaries. And you could just chat. Everybody had the nice chase lounges, you know, remember the metal sofas, and they just kind of glide. Oh, they're called gliders. Remember gliders? So my grandmother had the glider, and she would just glide, and her neighbors, everybody's gliding, moving. Isn't that deep when you think about it? Everybody's just moving and talking, you know, talking to each other. Not on the telephone, not what we're doing, but just chatting. I wish we could get back to that stuff. I like that stuff. But we're at a point where, and this is part of my notes, okay? This all ties in. It's a method to the madness, but it just ties in, okay? So let me just start with the notes. Yesterday, when they were talking about this, I'll take a sip. You all remember gliders? Yes, on a glider. Do they still make those gliders? It's certain kinds. Like, I have some that glide, right? But I'm talking about the ones that it looked like a real, like, well, I don't know. It's just a look that the ones in Philadelphia, I think down south, everything is like a little bit different. But I know them distinctively. They had like inlays, like leaves and different patterns, and the colors. I think the colors I remember were green and white. Is that something you remember? Donna, gliders. Molly, what are you saying? I love rocking chairs, yes, on porches. And swings, right? Nice swings. We have rain in Texas, nice. And that's another thing. When you would come on your porch, you could sit outside and it could be raining or any other inclement weather, but you're right there. Your porch is covered. Some people, the people that have the really pretty, what are they called? Awnings, right? Awnings, beautiful awnings. I love awnings, okay? I didn't know how much. This is like going back in time, right? Paul saying some of my fondest memories were spent on the porch swing, with your parents and grandparents. Isn't that nice? I know. I would love to see this stuff come back, but they say, is it? I think we can. I think some people are still experiencing that. Some. It depends. Yes, expensive for the retro type. Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, if you go to retro stores and what are they called? Like, you know what I'm saying? Thrift stores. Donna says my neighbor has a metal glider yellow. Oh, that's pretty. Yellow. Hey, B Wolf. I'm in and out doing chores. Love listening. Oh, thank you. My YouTube bestie. That's good. I'm glad you could do chores. I wish I could play music for you. I'm going to get back to the music. That's been a problem too. I chose the platform stereo. Gosh, what am I? Station head. I was going to say stereo head. Station head. And I just had nothing but problems. I'm going to try it again because I want to get back to, I want music. Hey, Wyoming chick. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I would love porch chats. Yes, I find neighbors don't want to get to know each other. Yeah, I have a porch. You sit outside in the summer and talk to the walkers by. Some will talk, some won't. That's a good point. People are a little more, they're not as trusting as they used to be. And it could be this. Okay, so when I think about my grandmother's neighborhood in West Philly, there were generations of people. So you knew the family. It wasn't like a family moves in, they move out, a new family. No, the home would stay in the family because one neighbor, see, I was just talking to my mom about this, and my mom is so good, like in terms of she is an oral historian, really good at details. And we were just talking about even, what I could remember, because a lot of times I get confirmation like, was this? And she'll fill in details. And like I said, her details are amazing. So I call her the archives. But one family on my grandmother's, what side? Okay, on the left side, the family that moved in, that lived there for many years, I think the woman, maybe they moved to another part of Philadelphia, okay? Because that's what happens. People migrate to, like you move, you bump up to another tier economically, you know what I'm saying? So the migration was from West Philly to Mount Airy, right? Mount Airy, some people moved to the Northeast. Philadelphians, you know what I'm talking about, Northeast Philly, or where else? I'm trying to think of other places, but Germantown, maybe Mount Airy, the Northeast, from West Philly. So the home on the left, the family, they moved up like George and Wheezy, right? Moving on up, right? Whatever that is, you're moving on up. So they moved wherever. But the home, she sold it to her sister. So her sister then was the so it's still the same family because we knew the sister. Because at that time, people's family, extended families, would always get together and have dinners, and you would get to know the extended family. It was just like that. So then the other family on the other side, they lived there for a long, long time, and that's how it was. So it just was more stable, and people didn't just move away too far. They stayed in the same cities, right? But maybe different neighborhoods. Yes, Jen, Northeast Philadelphia suburbs. That's what, yeah, Philadelphia has changed. Sad. Yeah, Philadelphia has changed. It's very sad. Hey, Bronx Patriot. Hello, welcome. We spent a lot of time on each other's porches in the 70s playing records and eating snacks. Oh, how nice. So you, yeah, in the Bronx, yes, you would experience, you all had the row homes, right? Yes. So some parts of New York, they have the same type of, in Boston, where girl code, you all have the porches too. Mercedes, oh my God, ever strong. I love that. Thank you for joining, Mercedes. I've missed you. Hello, it's so nice to see you. Yes, I love it. Bronx Patriot. Yes, records and snacks. I'm just imagining how nice. It sounds like a movie, like Spike Lee movie, right? Spike. Okay, I know, Spike. But he did some kind of nice movies, right? When he was younger, right? I enjoyed his movies. Okay, so my notes. Back to the Twitter space conversation. So I learned a term, and I heard that it might have come from what's his name? Joe Rogan. And we're talking about media censorship and the role of just social media. What Twitter is emerging into being. It's interesting to observe it. So there's a term called post and ghost. Has anybody ever heard that? Post and ghost. I do it. I didn't even know it was a term for it. So post and ghost, it can help you manage this wild territory of social media, because this is new to us all. We, in my generation, older, and even millennials, they're kind of like, they have their foot in two worlds as well. So the internet as it is today, they pretty much grew up into it. But they did have a time of having a little more, less intrusiveness, I'll say, right? They were doing the Game Boys, right? They were the kids on the Game Boys, okay? My generation, we were on the joysticks, right? We were doing the Atari and the Pac-Man and all that. It definitely evolved. So I, fortunately, did not grow up with social media, because some of the things I did early in my social media life, I'm not the same person. I might not believe the same thing. I might believe something polar opposite today of what I might have believed when I first came onto social media, which was Facebook. I did MySpace, but to be honest, I only did MySpace because I heard that some of the younger people in my family might have had, including my own daughter, may have had like MySpace accounts and stuff. So I was kind of, not being a police, but I was just, you have to do that. I never told my little younger people in the family that I was just looking out for them on MySpace, okay? And I wasn't, trying to whatever, but it was new, and I knew that it was a powerful medium, and I didn't know if I just wanted to make sure they were okay. That's all. I don't know if you all were on MySpace. So MySpace, then it turned into Facebook, right? Because of DARPA. And I worked with a young nurse, and she was saying, you should get on Facebook. And I was like, no, that's for you and your generation. She's a millennial. And she was like, no, Jen. Like, she hung around me like I was her big sister. And she was like, no, please get on Facebook. And she would just tell me to do things. She was like a really, like a little annoying little sister. She was like, get on Facebook, Jennifer. I'm like, no. And then she tried to find a way to kind of, I don't know, she bribed me. She was like, well, you should do it for Tyrone at the time, the cat. This is my daughter's cat, Tyrone. She was like, you should get an account for Tyrone. And I was like, what? And she said, yeah, people's cats and horses, they have their own accounts. And I was like, yeah, being a crazy cat lady, I was like, that's really a good idea. I think I'll do it. So I started a Facebook profile for Tyrone, the Tonkinese, my daughter's cat. And that's how she and you know how social media is. It's like crack, okay? So I did the thing, and you know what it was? It just opened up my whole like reality to what this social media thing was. Because she would talk about it, but I was like, it wasn't doing anything for me. Because it started out, if you remember, it was for college students. Remember, it was for, they said, and that's really slick how they kind of beta tested social media. Remember, it was because, oh, if something goes on the college campus, this is a way that we can know where you are and you can check. Please, DARPA, okay, now that we look back and look at your narrative, real good try, but I doubt it was that reason. That was the reason you put Facebook on the college campuses. Yeah, doesn't sound like a true narrative now, does it? Molly gave me a super sticker. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate that. Oh my god. Yeah, you better call Tyrone. But only we spell Tyrone, me, okay? Whenever people laugh at Tyrone's name, my brother and my daughter are like, it's her. It's her. It's her. She named him Tyrone. But it's a method to all of the madness, I like to say. I named Tyrone. I will digress. I named him Tyrone because he's a Tonkinese. Have you ever heard of a Tonkinese? He's half Siamese and half Burmese. So he's a Tonkinese. So he's from that part, Thai, Burma, all of that. So I was like, oh, this would be the coolest thing to name him Tyrone, but I spell it Thai, and then it's two names. So he's Ty and then Rone, Rone. I know it sounds crazy. You could call me crazy. I don't care anymore. It doesn't affect me. So yeah, that's how we spell it. Tyrone, okay? And yes, he's still here. For those who knew Tyrone when he had his Facebook page, they took Tyrone's Facebook page down, by the way. Yeah, somebody reported it. So many haters, right? Tyrone was getting all these like friend requests. Okay. That's what I see how she got me onto Facebook. I saw Tyrone having all this social engagement. People were friend requesting him. I was like, what? So I became Tyrone, his voice online. Really crazy, right? And I was like, okay, it's just like you're pretending to be somebody, right? I was like, this is kind of weird. I'm actually having conversations with people as Tyrone. I was like, this is really not going to work out really well. I could tell the path that this was leading to would not be a good one. So I said, I'm going to start my own Facebook profile. See, she lured me in. But then somebody told on Tyrone's page. They were jealous of him. They were jealous of Tyrone. It's some real jealousy out there. Tyrone's lives. So they reported Tyrone's Facebook profile. Can you believe that? Oh wait, you told me how to say the name. Oh gosh, wait, let me remember. Ishel, Ish, Ishel, 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 Ishel. Did I say it right? Ishel Moonstar. Welcome. Right. So yeah. So okay, the person, the hater, turned Tyrone in to Facebook. What would you, the tribunal, the Facebook tribunal? So they sent a message that this was not a real person or something like that, whatever they said. So they took his page down, but he had a fan page. I think it's still around. If you want to become a fan of Tyrone, he has a fan page on Facebook. So he even had an Instagram profile. He had a stalker too. Tyrone had his own stalker. It was a woman. She was from California, of course. And don't get mad at me, okay? Can we have fun again? Can we make it comedy again? Gosh, man. Okay, she was from California. It just happens to be a fact. And she was on Tyrone's fan page, and she was a super fan. And one day I posted a picture because Tyrone was mischievous. When he was younger, he was a little bit mischievous. It was that Siamese, kind of cuckoo. The Siamese, they're crazy. So he would do a lot of things. Like if you had stuff on a table, he would just jump on the table and make everything fly off. He was that kind of cat that loves to knock all your crap off of the tables and stuff. Josephine does it. She did it today. She knocked something off. Is something about cats. They're very shady, but Tyrone was like that. He was, and then if you had a glass, you leave it. Don't ever leave your glass out uncovered. You come back and he's dipping his paw in your glass and just dipping it in and looking at it, dipping it in, maybe tasting whatever you have. Just rude. So I would just talk about the things Tyrone was doing. And I might have made a post about whatever, one of his mischievous things. You know what the woman, his fan on his page said? She was when I tell you this woman was serious, okay? She said, Tyrone, I don't like how Jennifer talks about you online. And if you need a place to stay, you come to California and come live with me. I swear to you, if you go on his fan page, I left her comment up. I'm sure it's still there, archived. Okay. So she offered him a place to live, like a sanctuary. It was a real story. I didn't make this up. I can't make this up. So anyway, back to what I'm talking about. I'm just recalling how the early days of social media was, okay? And like I said, I have changed so much. Have you? I mean, we've even watched it with television people, personalities that do the news, activists, I'll say, where they might have been one thing and then they changed. They were a Republican, they became a Democrat. I don't want to name names, but you could drop it in the chat atmosphere, or the vice versa. They were a Democrat, now they're a Republican. and they're spouting off the talking points. But if you go back to their old Twitter, right? Go back to their old whatever chat, if they're on a message board, and they were totally a different person, right? Now, I haven't changed like that. Like philosophically, I have not changed. I'm still pro life, if you want to call it pro life, which it just means I'm not for deleting babies, deleting life in the womb, right? And I've given a testimony of falling prey to this Marxist, antichrist propaganda. So those things I haven't changed on. But I'll tell you some of the things I've changed on. It has a lot to do with the things I was taught in the church. Okay. So I will have a difference of like just opinion on some things. So yeah, let's see. Sean says Tyrone Cinnamon. A new sugar mama online. Yes, right. Amazing. He could have had a whole new life. I can tolerate cats, just not living with. A lot of people think that I can do friends, cats all day, but me personally, you're a dog, more of a dog person. I like both. I'm like a dog and cat person. I just love animals. Amen to life. That's right. So those are the things I haven't changed on. So I'm just saying that imagine being a teenager and growing up with an online profile. That's why we have to give a lot of people grace, because me as a teenager, or even in my 20s, 30s, going on social media, my gosh, I can't imagine. And people pulling it back so they could ruin your career, whatever. That's what we see now. So social media has created a need for a lot of us to grow up, even if you're already grown. We have to grow up into this technology because it's new. And that's what they were saying on this Twitter Spaces yesterday. It was a great conversation, really good conversation. So if you're on Twitter and you happen to catch one of the spaces, let me know. I could recommend the one I was on yesterday. Now, I don't follow the host, Nicole, but I follow Zuby. Do you all know Zuby? He's a musician, but Zuby has I really like his content, and I can see where he's coming from, how he comes to his conclusions. I agree with a lot of it. And Zuby was one of the speakers. That's how I probably knew when it came up. And that's what will happen on the top of your scrolling on Twitter. If somebody that you follow is a speaker or hosting, you will see it. And then you can just join and listen. So they were talking about, oh, you like Zuby? You know about Zuby? Yeah, a lot of you remember Zuby from when we were all on Twitter, right? Yeah. Oh, you have a bulldog, a bully. His name is Freedom. Oh, that's a great name. Really great name. Yeah. So, oh wait, who? PH Joy. I'm gonna try and get some more sleep fighting strep. Oh, okay. Get some sleep, Joy. PH Joy. It was nice having you here. Hope you feel better too. We'll see you next time. So posting and ghosting. It will help you, and let's talk about mental health, because social media has really presented some new challenges when it comes to mental health. And that is something that we could talk about today. Hey, let's see a new name, Lori Ladder. Hello, Lori. Let's give Lori some love and welcoming. That's how we are, Lori. Thanks for coming by. And how's Michigan? Is it cold? Hey, good morning, Michelle Jensen. You sound familiar. If you're not, let's give Michelle some love and welcome back. If I have seen, I know we have a lot of Michelles, right? Yeah, so back to the posting and ghosting. I do this actually. And I do it so that I'm not overwhelmed because I try to put content on all of the social medias. Some of it I don't have access to my Telegram anymore, but posting and ghosting, if you post something and you don't want the drama from maybe it's, I don't know, open to controversy, whatever that is, you might post and just leave and not worry and check for the response or whatever. You don't have to respond to anything right away. There are no rules to this. So that may help some people to not feel overwhelmed. So that was something that they were talking about, posting and ghosting. Hey, late girl. How you doing, late girl? I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. Yeah, so they were also saying that you can curate what you want to see. You don't have to be inundated with things that trigger, for the ones that are freaking out right now because Elon has bought the company. That was one of the, you can see it, the reactions, and it's unbelievable. And that's what I'm talking about. I like Twitter for that reason. You can see both sides and the middle. So you're looking at people that are absolutely traumatized from what they're saying about Elon, and they're traumatized about Trump having his account reinstated. They're traumatized by the fact that more accounts are going to be reinstated. Elon posted something and he did like a survey. If you think that people should get amnesty for their accounts that have been taken away, deplatformed, and more people believe in free speech on Twitter. And that's the whole problem. That's why it's important to continue standing, because we might be told that reality is a certain way, but that's because this environment that we move in, this new thing called social media, it's a new landscape, and we're learning and growing. We have to decide how much of it we want in our lives. Some people may be off the grid and never engage in this stuff, and that's beautiful. However, if you are doing things that involve commerce, this is the way to do business and to connect with people in a way that it would be impossible to do offline. But offline is real life. So we have to know how to move and be okay and balance. That was one of the words that came up a lot, was balance. And I love the word balance. Yes, you're doing great, late girl. Oh, good. Raising the vibe. Good. Let's do that. Let's do that. Yes, so that's what I'm saying. When Elon is showing his surveys in opinion pieces where he invites everybody to weigh in on a thing, and that's what he did with returning President Trump his account. He asked the people, and more people felt that the account should be reinstated. So he did it. Now, President Trump has not even tweeted, and the people, if you read some of the, It's unreal, some of the people's reactions. So that's interesting, just observing how people are. And oh, Gladys, thank you, Gladys. I'm following you back. Okay. Now, yesterday, let me just tell you about a tweet. Now, you have to know when to kind of reel yourself in, because I know Twitter is a whole different vibe, because you may see something and you want to say something. I think you shouldn't always say something. Just see something, just observe it. It's not necessary to respond to everything. And that's something your mom would tell you. So if you had a social media mom, what would that might be the thing to think about. Like, okay, if I had a social media mom, what would she say? Maybe some of you might want to become a social media mom. That would be a cool little service, right? Is that an idea for you? Okay, look, I get ideas. Wait a minute. Something's coming to me. Something's coming. Something is coming to me. Wait a minute. Hold it. Okay. You may be displaced. I don't know why I feel like always coming up with ideas. Okay, I'll just throw the ideas out. It's just a seed of an idea. And it came to me just now. You might be somebody who wants to help with the whole like mental health crisis. You might be displaced from your job. I just heard a whole furniture company in Mississippi laying off like 2,000 employees. Oh my goodness. All right. You might be somebody that got an email, because I think that's what they were saying. They got an email. They were fired through email. And you want to do something. That might be something, because mental health is really at an all-time high in terms of needs. And not everybody can connect right away. So there are online things that people are doing to connect, because we may not like it, but this is the reality of it. Some people, that's all they have is the online connection. So we don't ever want to knock that, because it does fill a void. It does help. So that might be an idea, is what I'm thinking. Somebody may want to become a counselor, online counselor, and you could be social media mom and talk to people. People just need they need simple advice. In fact, if you do that, if you think that's a good idea, unsolicited advice sounds like criticism. No. Hey, Deanne, how you doing? Thanks for not unsolicited. No. This would be solicited, where, you know what I'm saying? There are services online, mental health, but I was just thinking, wouldn't that be kind of interesting? You could be like a social media mom or dad or grandmom, or somebody who just, you give wisdom. I'm just saying, right? Because because I had a younger employee, a fellow employee. That happened a lot. I'm thinking about my workplace life. I tended to be like a big sister or a surrogate mom to younger people, because a lot of younger people, I would notice, they didn't have the kind of life growing up that even me and my peers had. Even with me having a divorced home, as they say, a broken home, I had stability because I had my grandparents. And, these younger people don't have a lot of that. So if they seek you out as a mentor or a big sister, right? So you fill those different roles when you're at your job. So I tended to be a big sister to a lot of people. And one of the girls that it was at Grady, this younger girl, not girl, lady, younger lady, and she was dating a guy at the hospital. And, that's never a good idea to date somebody at work. So the guy that she was dating, he was really like a handsome guy and he was nice, tall. And he had one of those jobs that you were the front of the, face of the job. I think he was somebody in ER who checked people in. So he was all around. And you know what happens at hospitals? All the young ladies had crushes on him. So he was charming. So she's dating him. So she works in my department and she would run things by me that she wanted to say to him or text him. And I told her one day, please, okay, please, before you send a text or leave a voicemail, run it by me. I don't mind being another set of ears. And just before you hit send, I'll be there for you as your buddy. Okay? Your big sister. And she needed it. Now, I know I'm not perfect. I've sent some doozies as text messages or voicemails. Thank God your answer machines aren't even. Imagine all the things you left on somebody's answer machine. We don't have them anymore to come and haunt us. But that's something that people need. So you might be that person that helps a person, just simple things like that. It's just an idea. I'm just saying. So I said something to a woman. I didn't know her, but she said something kind of provocative. I could see where it could be very provocative. But I just told her thank you for that. I just simply said thank you for having the courage to say it. And she appreciated that because she said she was getting dogpiled. Have you heard? You've heard? You know what dogpiling is. So that's something that happens on Twitter and all the social media spaces. The one thing, it doesn't have to happen when you have moderation. So within your own platform, your own little circle, it's okay to have moderation, and it depends on what you can handle. I listen to certain content creators and they may have a controversial topic, and people in their chat, you've seen it, where they tell their moderators, like, don't block that person who said that. Just let them say it. As long as there is I think we all know there's a level and a limit to it. If it's not ad hominem attacks, but you can attend somebody's argument without attack. All right. It's just simple. All we need is just simple balance and logic. So a lot of us can help bring about a better culture. And that's what they were saying on this Spaces conversation. They were saying that, it's up to us. It's not going to always be pretty free speech. It's a messy thing, as somebody rightly said. Free speech is messy. However, we need to have it, especially at this time in our world. We need to be able to listen to the other side. Now, some are the extremes. Now, we may have been on the extremes and we're moving more toward the center, just to kind of look at each, not the extremes though. But I want to say that I like the Jimmy Dore show. Does anybody know about Jim? I use this as a paperweight too. So I'm not angry. I'm just using it to keep the page down. But anybody like Jimmy Dore out there? Anybody? Let me know. I like Jimmy Dore. And, okay, I may get judged for this, but I don't care. I happened to catch yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Okay. Herschel Walker's son. Christian Walker. You know about Christian Walker. He has a, I don't know, podcast. It might be on Facebook, maybe. I caught it on Facebook because I don't really do a lot on Facebook anymore. I post and ghost on Facebook. So if you think I'm rude, it's just something I had to decide because I got dogpiled on Facebook back in 20. Yeah. When I said that I was a Trump, I was like, I like Trump, you guys. Just me saying I like Trump, it caused a massive dogpiling on me. Now, mind you, I said it on my own Facebook profile. I didn't go to somebody else's profile. I said it on my own profile. I just said I like Trump. That's all that was needed. People who never said anything to me, never engaged with me, all of a sudden, they were coming out of the woodworks. And I was like, whoa. I mean, I had like hundreds of comments. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was just every day, new flood of people. And they were coming like, calling me a crackhead, okay? Somebody really called me a crackhead for just saying I like Trump. I've never seen anything like it. I was so baffled as to just the amount of vitriol, you know, and the dogpiling. For people that can do that to a person, just dogpile them. I even had a friend who didn't agree with me. He did not like Trump, but he looked at the fact that like I was being dogpiled, and I have to give him credit. He came into my chat and he said, listen, everybody, look, what you're doing to her is not fair. I've been observing it, and she has a right to like Trump. Why are you attacking her for it? Like he said, I fought for this country and I fought for her to have free speech is what he said. And I really appreciated him because I knew he doesn't even agree with me on probably anything. But he did not like to watch a pile of people. I mean, men were attacking me. Men. They were calling me crackhead, like I said. Well, okay, this wasn't good, but, you know, whenever they would call me a crackhead, I would say, your mom. No, it's not nice. It's not nice. I'm not proud of it. But I would go low. You know, they say when they go low, you go high. When they went low, I went lower. I went lower. Okay. And you know what happened? And this is what bullies, you've noticed this with a bully. They're punks. They're the biggest punks in the world. I've never liked a bully. I've never been a fighter because I was an only child growing up. Who am I going to fight? Myself? Okay. So I didn't get practice like, you know, I had a cousin, you know, she had brothers and they were teaching her how to she could like duke real good and she could block, you know. They would try to teach me. I was the kid that wanted to do arts and crafts. Who am I? I don't want to fight anybody. So if I like to talk and debate, if you got a good mouthpiece and you have some good arguments with some receipts, I wouldn't mind having a good debate with you. If you know how to be mature, I like it. It's great. So the dog piling is something that if it hadn't happened to me personally, I wouldn't even believe that people could be like that. So I happen to just observe some of the nastiest traits in people. And I would even try to talk about the fact that like all this stuff they're telling you about this pandemic, it's not what I'm seeing here in New York City. I would share my observations, and they were mad at me because I wasn't scared, because I wasn't on the bus by myself in a mask. They were mad at me because I wasn't scared, and because I was encouraging them to not be scared. Then I was now enemy, public enemy. Fight the power. I was fighting the power. I was the public enemy #1. So they were calling me a coon, a mammy, a bedwench, what else? What, Uncle Tom? What else? I was called everything. Everything. By men. Lots of men. And a lot of my little black boule people, I'm unfollowing you. And I was really slick. I have to work on that, right? Okay, so I would say your mama to the ones that would just come out and attack me like that. I was like, your mama. You know what? You know what they would do? This is the weirdest thing, you guys. They would say, oh, this is how I'm interpreting how I would read it. Oh my God, don't talk about my mom because she's dead. And I would be like, well, don't attack me then. Don't attack me. Then it'll be cool. I won't attack you. So that would just be weird. When I would say something back, they would act like, oh, you hurt me. How could you say that? I'm like, you came to my thing. I'm not over on your profile doing this. Just remember, you came here. So you can't tell me how to react. And I would light them up. I was lighting them up left and right because I'm shady. And I have to watch it. And I have a poison pen, as my mom says. Like when I want to light somebody up in words, it's right here. This is my sword. I could really say some things. What did you say? Oh yeah, I have that ability. It's not something I'm proud of, however, not very proud of it when I go too far. And I have gone too far. So when you have people that dogpile, that's something people are going to have to just, I don't know, it is a maturity that some people might want to aspire to. I don't think everybody is going to be, it's not possible with everyone. That's when you have a block party. We could have a block party, right? Have you had some block parties? Because block parties are fabulous. Didn't you grow up with block parties, right? New Yorkers and Philadelphians, we know about block parties. So you could hold a nice block party. Yes, you can. And if you don't like mean tweets, all right? Now, somebody said something that really helped, okay? And you could share this with anybody. It could be for you. All right, so they said mean tweets are like, it's like, okay, this is my interpretation of what they said. Mean tweets are like, okay, you know when you go to a movie and it's, 3D, so you have your glasses on and it's simulated. You may see things, objects look like they're coming off of the screen at you and all kinds of things, but they're not real. They're not real. When you take the glasses off, you're in a theater with a screen and sitting next to people and whatever. You might have a little wine if you're at one of those theaters. Don't you love the theaters with the seats? You can sit back and go to sleep. Yes, I have pajamas on, okay? I need some lotion. Yes, so it's not real. Just think about that for a minute. You love block parties. You love a good party, right? Bring your snacks, bring your salads to the block party. I'm a doll. Thank you, Alan. You're so sweet. I love you. Yes, right? That's you. You got a slick a slick pen or a slick Twitter fingers? You have slick Twitter fingers? B Wolf says the snowflakes can dish it out, but they can't take it when you dish it back. Cause I'm all about peace. I'm like, can we all just get along? I don't care what color you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care about that. Okay. I care about truth. And anybody can get it. Anybody can get it with me. I give the smoke to the Black Boule. I give the smoke to the Nazis, to the Bolsheviks. I give the smoke to the Jesuits, to the Illuminatis. I give smoke to the who else? They all can get it, okay? Everybody. The KKK, everybody. The Democrats, the rhinos. Listen, I don't care. I care about truth. All the other stuff, we could work it out. Like I always said, we could sit on the porch and sip on something, smoke a little something. If you need a little CBD, cherry. Look, we can chill out and chat. You don't have to like what I'm saying. Just let's listen to each other. So, when somebody is dishing out a mean tweet, just know that it's like going to a 3D movie. It seems like the objects are coming at you, but they're not touching you. They're not touch. Remember the old saying that sticks and stones? I know words do hurt. That's when you have to decide, are you able to handle it? Are you able to be on social media, maybe the amount of time that you're on, or maybe you want to just observe. But if you say something, you have to know, like Alan said, consequences. There are consequences for, if I post something, I have to think about, okay, they could take it this way, they could say this. I honestly had no idea the amount of vitriol that has been just fomenting under the surface. So when you get to be a certain age, I've always heard that you just don't care about impressing people. And it's true. I'm at that age now. I'm like, I'm not into impressing people at all since 2020. After I saw people that I looked up to, that I thought were smart because they have doctor in front of their name, people that I thought were anything, family members, I always say this, and I might sound got a little whatever about it, but when my family and friends were like obsessed about Obama and everything about him, I was like, okay, I'm glad I wanted to join in so bad. I wish I didn't know what I know about Obama. Because I would like to be a part of this thing that they're all like, they're in a rapture with this guy. And I felt kind of like, I was a little jealous. They were in a little club that I wasn't in. Because as soon as I heard the dude's name, it doesn't happen with everything, but I instantly knew. I was like, bad guy. Corn Pop. This is a bad guy. And it was more confirmed each time I looked into him. And I didn't mind the people that thought he was, everything. I didn't stop being their friend. I didn't hate them. I didn't attack them. I might have said bad, whatever I wanted to say about him, but I didn't care about the people that loved him. And that was like the difference. So I was like, dang, can't I just get the respect that I gave you? No, it was different. I don't know. But the words online are not tangible. And just know it doesn't matter. If they're gonna like, I'm not getting attacked anymore. I noticed. I could post something about Trump right now. And I'm gonna tell you, I will not get dogpiled anymore. Have you noticed that? I may have my friend list go down, okay? And that's okay. Because, like people say on Twitter, with all the people saying, I'm leaving because Elon Musk has ruined Twitter. He's made this an unsafe place for me. You know what people respond back? They say, this is not an airport. You do not have to announce your departure. I like that. And I would tell people that too. I had Spellman sisters that came into my comment. If I posted something about children and the issue with trafficking children and the issue with human trafficking or pro-life, I didn't hear from them. I didn't hear nothing. It's quiet as a church mouse. Soon as I said, you know what? I like Trump after all. So I remember this one Spellman sister. She was like, how dare you? You went to Spellman. And she was like, I am unfriending you and blocking you. And, you know, I would say back before they could hurry up and do it, I would say, you didn't have to let me know that you were unfriending me because I wouldn't have noticed. Okay? And I'm not being shady when I say it. I would not have noticed if you didn't tell me that you were going to block me. Don't have to announce it. Just do it, baby. Do it, sis. And I hope it works out for you. I'll be okay. Now, if I was in my 20s or a teenager, I'll be like, oh my God. I don't care. Bye. Bye, Felicia. I don't care if I'm a Spellman sister. So all Spellman sisters have to all think alike? Girl Code, you're here. I'm tripping, Girl Code. Oh, Girl Code, look, if you're wondering why I have this on, because I'm doing henna. Henna has to be on your hair. I think I did okay, when do I have to take this off? 4 hours, okay? So I'm doing the red part, the Raj it's called. So it has to be on for 4 hours. And this, I didn't finish telling you about this. Going back, the hospital in New York, it was a woman, I told you about that. She made these for us because we were covering our heads and everybody was like covered up. Because, you know, the coof could get in your hair, especially if you have an afro like me, you got coof, right? So, you know, when you go, if I were to fly right now out of Philadelphia, that's right, you TSAs in Philadelphia, you're always shady to me. It doesn't matter how I wear my hair. So if I was going out of Philadelphia right now, they'd be like, ma'am, can we check your hair, your afro? It's like, what do you have in there? Are you hiding something? Don't touch my hair. Because listen, it's not going to work out well for you, TSAs. Henna, you like henna too? Yes, sis. I'm so glad you're here. Yes. Oh, wait, I missed that. Never understood that MAGA hat. Who doesn't want America? I know. Thank you. Thank you, sis. I couldn't understand that either. Like, wearing the MAGA hat would make you a target of violence out in some of the cities. I don't think so much now. I bet people could walk around in a MAGA hat now, right? But just the fact that people would get offended with a statement, make America great again. They would always say America wasn't great in the first place. So, whatever. You can't even say anything. I mean, just crazy. It's not, people are just not well. It is like mental health crisis. So, yeah, the woman made these and she gave them to us, gave them. She didn't want money. It was so sweet. She said she had a lot of extra fabric and time. So she just made these little, and they're so cute, right? They have like a cute little tie. It's like a little, you know, if you did surgery, see, has a tie in the back. So beautiful. And she, if you her to make one, she only did it if you asked. And she would in a nice paper bag and she would pick your fabric. She would do it by your personality. So that's what she picked for me. So anyway, yeah. Where was I? Okay. Social media attacks are not tangible. That was a good takeaway. They seem like real objects coming at you, but they're not. It's take the glasses off. Log off. You'll be okay. You log off, and guess what? Nobody hurt you. You're like still there. You're in one piece. Okay? And sometimes you need to take sabbaticals. By the way, happy Sabbath day, Shabbat Shalom. And how about this? This came up. Somebody mentioned children and social media. Children being on social media. Some people have had great success at family channels, even here on YouTube, or their child might become a social media famous celebrity influencer as a child. And you know, I don't know what you feel about that, but like I was saying, my first experience on social media and then now, it's been so much change in me as a person online and just what I care about and all these things. Imagine a child being exposed, and you may have done it. I'm not trying to judge you, but it's something we should think about is what is that going to be like for the child? Say it's a child that got famous. You know, there were twins, a set of twins that I forget their name, but my mom loves them. They're real cute. And they became really famous and they're now older. So what do you do with the child going through fame online and then they grow into that awkward stage? It's not the same. So you have to deal with that. And these are just everyday people having an experience of fame, whatever that means. Oh yeah, the Olsen twins. Yeah, it wasn't the Olsen twins though. It was a set of twins. They were mixed race, real cute. Can't remember their name, but they're real cute. But it's just children having pictures on social media. I'm not sure. Because as somebody said, children don't have the same agency over their image, over their, you know, their lives. So they don't get to decide, like later on, if that image is still there, floating around because the internet is forever, then how are we going to help them through that process? Because they may decide that they want nothing to do with it, or they may decide anything, that it's just a problem now because it's there forever. Back when we had pictures and you're just taking pictures or you're doing scrapbooking, it's just there. It's in an album. It's limited access. Having things online with children, I have some concerns because children just need protection. And you know what, this whole thing with Balenciaga on my thumbnail, those shoes that you see, the beat up shoes, let me show you. That's Balenciaga. So you see these shoes right here on my thumbnail? Of course I picked a porch like that, right? It's like a tent, like we're glamping, okay? So that's, I'm just talking about the different issues that came up. This didn't come up in the spaces yesterday, but see these shoes right here? Okay, Balenciaga put those out. Yeah, they're demons. That's right. So if you're not familiar with what's going on with Balenciaga, children's ad, the system of child stars is exploitation. Yeah, I agree. You like my henna hat? Thank you. It's not going to mess up the fabric because the henna, when it dries, it's like mud, mud flood, right? So it's dry, so it won't mess up the fabric. Yeah. So you wait, you let it dry. It's like putting a mud pack on your hair. Yes, so I have 2 steps because the first step that I do is you apply a red, it's called Raj, and then you apply indigo, and then that'll be black. I like black hair. So yeah, Mercedes, it's a spiritual battle, definitely not for the faint. It's not because, okay, I'll get to the Balenciaga and the children, but I wanted to say I'll go back to that. But I have some notes, and I wanted to talk about when I say children don't have the same agency in terms of their image being put out on the internet. I thought about this in my family. When my great grandmother died, somebody took a picture of her in her coffin. And this was back, when did she die? It was in the 80s. And somebody took a picture. And the picture, it was someone in the family, by the way. It wasn't like a stranger, but it was someone in the family, like the California side of the family. I'm just saying. So they had a picture of her. And I saw the picture. I'm not sure if I went to her funeral. I don't remember, because they used to protect me from going to funerals when I was little. And it would make me very sad that I didn't get to go to the funeral because they were protecting me. But I don't know. I don't remember seeing my great grandmother in her coffin, but I saw the picture. And I remember looking at it, and it was shocking to see her laying there. It was, she looked peaceful, as I say. She looked like herself. I mean, what are you going to look like? But yeah, they always say, oh, she looked like herself. She looked so peaceful. She was just sleeping, right? She just looked like she was sleeping. I would hear all that after funerals. So yeah, so she looked like herself in the picture, but it was strange. So I don't know how you feel about that, but imagine somebody taking pictures of a moment, like someone being in a coffin, or taking video of what happened recently with the woman down in Mexico, Shanquella Robinson. So Shanquella, I hope I said her name right, Shanquella Robinson. The last thing people are going to see is this video that now is viral, super viral, of her getting beaten by her, they keep saying her friends. And that's a terrible thing, that's the legacy. It doesn't matter how many nice pictures are put up. It's just like that's the thing. And this is the new landscape of where we are. But I don't know. I don't have all the answers to how we're going to navigate this landscape, but we personally can we can strive to grow and to be able to move in these spaces. And what we do, our activity can be for the good, in other words, for the good, not for the bad. So the Balenciaga, I don't care if I say it right. I used to be into fashion, by the way. I used to be a model. For those that don't know a lot about me, yeah, I modeled, and I modeled for the Ebony Fashion Fair, and I modeled in Europe, Italy. I lived in Milan. So I was really into fashion very much. I'm not into fashion at all. Okay? Not at all. The culture of fashion has turned me off. And that's me personally. It's because I lived in Europe and modeled, and I got to see what the world of fashion is like. So I don't like it. And people would ask me, well, aren't you going to get your daughter into modeling? Aren't you? No, I'm not. I never got her into anything that involved entertainment. And it's because I got close enough to it to know that I needed to back all the way out of it. So yeah, the fashion world used to be interesting to me because I looked at magazines when I was a little girl. I had two aunties that were born later. My grandparents had them later, so they were young. And they would always have magazines like 17 magazine, and what was the other one? 17 and some other, Mademoiselle. And I would go through their magazines, and sometimes I would make mustaches. Did you do that as a kid? I would draw. If I was mad at one of my aunties, because they are spoiled brats, I would draw like a goatee. I would do the whole thing on their, especially like if I saw one that I know they would really like, a picture, I would draw the mustache. I would give them a whole beard. And it was like, because I wasn't really that bad as a kid. I was like a good kid, but I don't know. It was like they were more like my siblings, So if they did something to me, like one of them, she would always promise to take me places or promise to get me a Barbie doll, and she would never keep her word. And it would just make me crazy, okay, as a kid. So I was the kind of kid that was like a peaceful kid with, I'm an only child, so what am I going to do? I can't take it out on her. I can't fight her. So what do? I have to get it out of my system. So I would go to her magazine, her 17 magazine, and I'd draw a mustache. And that was my way to get her back. So yeah, I looked at these magazines and I loved them. I saw Beverly Johnson. Does anybody know Beverly Johnson? Oh my God, I wanted to be her. I love Beverly Johnson. Everything about her. I wanted to know her biography, everything. I followed her life through these magazine articles and pictures. And I became a model because I admired Beverly Johnson so much. So that was part of what got me into liking fashion. And because I'm artsy, I love the designers. I loved it not because not because it was a designer name. I literally love the construction from an aesthetic standpoint. So I did like designer clothes, and I knew the history, because you know how me and Girl Code, we go down into the rabbit holes of research. So that's what I would do with fashion. I would want to know about the fashion house and when it started and who the person was. And so I would know that kind of history. And I got to a point where I could look at fashion and I could tell what designer it was. And I could just tell you a little bit about it. And, it was a thing. And so I was kind of into it that way. I wouldn't buy the stuff because the stuff that I liked was couture. I couldn't afford that stuff, but it was just a knowledge of it. So when I got to model, I was modeling like Yves Saint Laurent and Fendi and all these names. And I got to wear the clothes. And once you put on a gown that's worth $30,000, you you will appreciate fashion. It's not because it costs $30,000, it's because the construction of it is like art. It is like if you are a carpenter and you have built a beautiful piece of furniture and everything is so like it's like the Amish, okay? You build like cabinets that roll out like stealth, it's like everything is so smooth and beautiful. That's how fashion is. You can have low quality, fast fashion, or you could go couture, where it's made for your body, right? A tailor. And it's not about like being an elitist because I grew up with seamstresses in my family. One of my aunties, I told you about her from Savannah. She was a seamstress. And it was not a big deal for the women in my family to create their own clothing, and tailors in the neighborhood. We had a tailor that was really popular in Philly. He made jeans. They were called Paul Mary jeans. And he was an Italian tailor. And every guy who was like, the hustler, gangster guys, they wore his jeans. They were very unique jeans. If anybody's from Philly and you remember the J. Paul Mary jeans, yes. And it was an expensive thing to get, but it was tailored to you. So I like that's what I consider real fashion. Not these, big brands and stuff that are owned by other companies that, I was listening to, I like this one content creator. Her name is April Butcher. And she was talking about, she's another person who knows about these, the details and the history of the fashion houses and different things like in the beauty industry. And makeup is another thing that I love. I love makeup, and I could talk to you about makeup and all this stuff. I just love that stuff. So she was explaining how Balenciaga is not owned by the Balenciaga family. It's another company under, on an umbrella of many other fashion houses. So that's the thing about fashion. It has become fast fashion, like fast food, and it's become perverse, very perverse, and very jaded and cynical. It wouldn't be easy for me to open up a magazine. I used to enjoy magazines. Like I enjoyed Vogue, looking at Vogue and all of the big magazines. I enjoyed like every fall issue of Vogue would be like this thick, remember? And you were waiting for the fall issue. I loved it. But now it is so degraded that if I open up a magazine, I haven't opened up a magazine in a long time. All you see is like darkness and death and just very, political. That's another thing that happened. When I would look at fashion magazines, they had nothing about politics really. They might have an article, and the article was like balanced, I found. But now it's all one-sided and it's hard to look at, right? They went woke, in other words. And I can't, it's just not an enjoyment. I used to enjoy In Style magazine. I loved In Style magazine. It went woke, it went weird. It's nothing in it that I'm not interested in any of it. So fashion and this thing that's going on with the Balenciaga. Let's talk about that a minute. So, are they shocking us into normalization? Are they? Because it seems like outrage marketing is very effective in this very sick culture that we're in. When most of us were growing up, if a brand, a company did something like what Balenciaga did, they would not fare very well. I understand they took the images down, the campaign down. They issued an apology. And what are the consequences for it? Hey, Tina. Thanks for coming by, Tina. You're hanging out with us. Probably so, trying to desensitize us. That's a problem. Because the images were so disturbing, and there were things that were planted in the environment. That's what I don't like. I know it's like I don't like any of it. But it's like you're playing with us. You're taunting us, and you want a reaction. But at the same time, it's a form of abuse. It's very abusive because they could take it down and say, we're sorry. But the point is, and many have made this point, when you think about it, how would they have had this greenlit in the first place? How many people with the chain of custody of doing a campaign like that, how many people have to approve that? How many layers of approvals before that hits the market? And that's the issue. You can't tell us and convince us that this ad that recently came out, you can't tell us and gaslight us that this was not an intended thing, because it was things planted in the environment. For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about with the Balenciaga thing, and then you wonder, is this like distraction? What are they really doing behind the scenes, right? Because if they're letting you see this like it's above the surface now, what is going on if we're seeing it above the surface? We're at that point now, everybody. If you wanted to know where we are, we're above the surface now. So a lot of people are going to be vindicated for the things that they were talking about 2 years ago or since 2016, when the term Pizzagate, remember? If you say that now, it has no like oomph to it, because they threw a wet cloth on it, and they put the term conspiracy theory on it, and it just died out, right? Anybody who brought up anything, well, just the term Pizzagate, I mean, that sounds crazy, right? It's like, come on now. They know how to do these things. This is a very studied, it's scientific, if you want to say. This has been around for a while. These are the wiles of the devil, as we've heard. So this shocking us into normalization of abusive material involving children. So for anybody that's new to whatever happened, Balenciaga is a big brand, and a lot of our so-called celebrities and influencers are attached to this, including Kanye or Ye. You have Kim Kardashian, she's like a official brand, whatever. I don't know what you want to call her, but she's like the face or the whatever of Balenciaga. Then you have other people that just love Balenciaga. So they've said that she hasn't said anything about it. People were thinking that she. Were you thinking that Kim Kardashian was going to come out and act like she was outraged and now she doesn't want to be attached to this brand because she has children herself? How dare they? Did you think that maybe she was going to make a statement last week when this came out? Let me know. Angelique, hey, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I hadn't seen you in a while. So, Kim Kardashian, as far as I know, hasn't come out and said anything. Nobody has. If anybody has, like from that world of entertainment, has anybody said anything about this ad? Because I'm not sure. No, it was just crickets. Okay, so we are at the point, like I said, where this is now above the surface. So anybody who was talking about the Wayfair stuff, Pizzagate, Epstein Island, what else? Disney. Disney is a thing too. What else? That's enough, right? Isn't that enough? Or what? That's pretty much the big ones. So if you were sharing content of Marina Abramovich, the spirit cooking, and all of this stuff, the more laptops, Haiti. Oh yeah, the children in Haiti. Haiti Wolf. Hi there. Thanks for joining. No way she would. The Kardashians are nothing but a witch coven. Yeah. I think a lot of people agree with that. So you have silence, as Tina said, crickets from the influencers, the celebrities. So that lets us know, okay, not a big deal to them. Can't imagine why it wouldn't be, especially somebody that has children, because the ad, I'm not going to show the pictures, but the ad had children holding these teddy bears, and the teddy bears were dressed up in the SM, what are the acronyms? It's always something new. B, SMB, whatever, D, SMBD. So the bears are dressed up in leather chains and things, and then it's some books in the background, and the books involve an artist that has stuff in galleries and museums of children. Very disturbing. Is that the proper way? Didn't they throw some more letters in it? Yeah, bondage attire. Bondage attire. These are children. And the children looked no more than maybe 7 years old. Not that it would matter, but these are really small children. And the background is very disturbing. So they're placing things for, what is it, for a reaction? Are they trying to dangle it and just dare us to say anything? What is it? It's very bold. So aside from the book of art, from this very disturbing art involving children, then they had something in like a document that if you were to enlarge it, it has a reference to a case that was won in the was it the Supreme Court? It was like Ashcroft versus, if anybody knows what it is, drop it, please. So there was a ruling that allowed for this type of material to be traded on social media platforms. So how in the world did legislation like that ever pass? Is this I'm amazed, because the Supreme Court, yeah. So we have this situation now with Balenciaga that has opened the floodgates somewhat, I would say. And the reason I'm saying this is because I get it. A lot of you knew about this stuff already, and you were trying to tell people, and they were, you had the tinfoil hat, you were crazy, you were the conspiracy theorists, and all of that. Now, because you were looking at alternative sources, alternative media, which this is all there. If anybody is just starting out on this journey of the Balenciaga was your wake-up call, well, there's a lot of references and information, articles, a lot of research out there that a person could dive right into. So there is a warehouse of information, which is good. Now, we have, to my knowledge, a first. This is a first that I've noticed, that it came above the surface. Because you can open up New York Post or any mainstream, as they say, media, and you will see the Balenciaga, you will see the story. You can go on the Twitter and they're talking about it. And nobody is being censored for what they're saying. So now this brings it above the surface. So people that thought that this was all made up, they're now being confronted. And I was looking on Twitter, and you could tell these are normies that are like, are you kidding me? Because they may have been people that wore Balenciaga. Now they're being confronted with the fact that this is happening. So how are they going to deal with all of the flood of just the reality that gets challenged? We've been through it. We've been up all night. We've cried. We've wept. Some of us have had breakdowns over this kind of stuff, right? It's been a process to get to the place where I can look at the Balenciaga story, and I haven't covered it. I haven't really talked about it on my social media. I've just been observing. And the reason why is I feel like I'm kind of talked out with some of this stuff. And the dog piling that happened, it kind of like it put a different kind of thing. Because, we can talk here, but it's somewhat a echo chamber with us. Unless somebody joins in or watches later that may not agree with us, and they may have, a lot to look into. It may come down to they don't want to wear the brand anymore. They want to get rid of it. Now, this is something that I didn't know that the brand did. I want to go back to this. The shoes that I showed in the, I showed it in the shoes right here. This was from an ad that they had. Let me see, a campaign. I have to go to the article. I want to talk to you about it. Let me see where it was. I'm looking on different devices. Let's see, did I do it on Google or DuckDuckGo? No. Just give me a minute. How you doing there? Hey, Corinne, welcome. Thanks for hanging out, Corinne. Podcasts like these have become my only outlet for your, yeah, right? Thank you for being here. That's why I want to just do this more often. I know I'm talking, I'm not even looking at the time. This will be a long one. Oh, well. If you want to still hang out, it's Saturday. I'm not going to put a time on it. Let's see, DuckDuckGo. I just have to see where I saw it because I want to tell you what I found about those shoes. And I talked about souls and soul because that comes up a lot. You know, I listen to Kev Gills, and I love what I'm learning from him. Now I know Kev is that's a level when you start listening to what he teaches. That's like a certain. He's not for everybody. I get it. I get a lot from what I'm learning from him. I really do. And he talked about the soles and how the shoes, when you think about the shoes and you think about in the NBA and stuff, it's mainly the NBA. That's where these shoes have become iconic, right? And when you think about the sole of your foot, the sole, and what it is, these shoes, like he brought about something really deep about that. I need to go back and really like listen to that again because it was deep. Okay, so here it is. So Balenciaga, they're extremely worn sneakers. So let me put it back on so you can see them. So these beat up behind sneakers that you see, they were selling this crap. Like, this is new in terms of if you went into a Balenciaga boutique or whatever. And I remember this actually. I remember when this came out. I didn't know it was real because now we're living in such a crazy like time that you don't know if you're really, are you being trolled? This is when like parody and reality have now like gotten together and they're like Netflixing and chilling, right? Irony is like the side chick. So you've got, what did I say? You've got parody and reality. They're Netflixing and chilling. Irony is the side chick. And you're like, clown world is the child. Okay, so this is from Input. It's dated May 10th, 2022. So it says Balenciaga's extremely worn sneakers help the rich cosplay as poor. Did you hear that? Balenciaga's extremely worn sneakers, we call them sneakers, y'all. I know down south here they say tennis shoes, okay? Who says tennis shoes? Stop it, okay? They're sneakers. So, extremely worn sneakers help the rich cosplay as poor. Now, that's very, very strange. So it says Balenciaga is no stranger to scandal. The high fashion label has come under fire multiple times for tone deaf designs and cultural appropriation, with each incident further highlighting the privilege sustained by the brand and its consumers. Balenciaga's latest offering, dubbed the Paris sneaker. Sorry, Sentinel, are you still here? Sentinel. Oh no, Sentinel's not in France. You're in Spain. Sorry. I'm sorry. Shout out to you, Sentinel. But okay. It's called the Paris sneaker. Only adds fuel to the fire. That's what I think they're doing this to disrupt, but they want to normalize it. It's like cutting the people with a million cuts. So it added fuel to the fire with an overly distressed look and emphasized price tag. The $1,850 sneaker comes purposefully destroyed, welcoming holes, rips, scuff marks, and other faux signs of wear right out of the box. So you are going to pay almost $2,000 to have sneakers that are purposefully destroyed. Okay. With a silhouette similar to the classic Converse Chuck Taylor, the Balenciaga kicks arrive in black, white, and red shades. How could you tell they're dirty? Each pair features mild signs of wear, but limited edition full destruction. So you could get mild signs of wear or full destruction. Versions of the sneakers arrive with even more extreme distressing, includes rips and a midsole covered in faux scuffs. The artist Leopold Duchemin put the Paris through the ultimate ringer as part of the campaign for the sneakers, although those downright gnarly shoes are not going up for sale. So the ones that, I guess these are for the ad, and they're extremely destroyed. The shoes are a display of wealth, proof their owner can afford to indulge in even the least practical items. So this is like flaunting wealth. Distressed shoes have gradually risen in popularity, not just as luxury labels, but also at mainstream brands like New Balance and Nike. Full destruction, they call it. Its inspiration seems like it comes from someone who has no say in the clothes they wear or own. For that matter, making the shoe a fashionable adaptation of difficult circumstances. Poverty isn't an aesthetic, nor is it something to take style inspiration from. Glamorizing demolished shoes to fit a fashionable agenda reeks of privilege and ignorance. So that's just a little, taste of Balenciaga, if you weren't aware of this this aesthetic. Even I have a t-shirt. I've probably shown you. Wait a minute. I'm gonna show you. I have a shirt that I'm gonna stop wearing it, but I wanna show you before. Okay. Hello. Okay, so I have this shirt, and I bought it from a boutique like a few years ago. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. I gotta stop and read this. Tanner loves Jen so much. He keeps saying hi to Jen. And Tanny, hi Tanny. I love you, Tanny. How are you? I hope you're having a good Saturday. I'll talk to you later, okay? Let's try to talk later. Catch up, okay? I love you. I love Tanner, okay? You have to know, whenever I see something about Tanner, I have to stop, Tanner. I have to stop what I'm doing, okay? And read whatever mommy's saying, okay? So, okay, this right here. What a mess. Okay, this, I bought this, okay? at my age. Yes, okay. Do you see this? Do you see this foolishness? This shirt has holes in it, and I purchased it with holes. This is cray cray, okay? This is cray cray. So, yeah, it can be cute. It's like tie-dyed, okay? You see, kind of see. This should become a rag, okay? A rag, or as my stepmother used to say, a schmata. This should be a schmata, but I bought it. What kind of mindset? Like, what made us, why is this okay? Is what I want to know. Why is it okay? Hey, Shawnee. Now, I haven't seen you in a while, Shawnee. Shawnee's here. Give her some love. How you doing, Shawnee? It's holy. It's a holy shirt. Holy moly. What the heck? You know, I'm going through a change right now. I'm reevaluating things. And I don't want that to be okay anymore. I just don't. Now, if it's okay for you, and ripped jeans, thank you. I got a few of them too. It doesn't feel right anymore. I tried to wear some of my ripped jeans, like, just out to the store, and I changed. Like, I'd rather wear a caftan, and I'll go to the store in a caftan. But the ripped jeans are just it doesn't feel right for me. It's just me. I'm not trying to trigger you, but I just don't want to. I don't want that to be okay for me anymore. Okay? Is that okay? Are you offended? Hey, Shannon. You hate ripped jeans. Like, I used to get mad at my dad always with the lecturing. Like, I remember, okay, look, millennials, I know you bought the ripped jeans back out. It's not new. We did it in the 80s. We had jeans that were called acid wash. Do you remember the acid wash jeans and the stone washed? And they showed you a process of how they did it. And they even had they were shooting the jeans. Do you remember when they would shoot the pow-pows? Like machine pow-pows? And they were there were holes in the jeans. Like, do you remember in the 80s? Like, that's really weird that was okay. You remember, Donna, when they stone washed them and shot them up? Like, that is not okay, people. How did we get initiated into such crazy insanity? Tina saying we step out of the matrix so it makes you see the world with new eyes. Yeah, we realize that this is crazy. Thank you. And something that Kev said, and I make a lot of references to Kev, okay? So Kev said that we are not guilty by means of insanity for a lot of the things that we have done. Especially when we agreed to be a ward of the government and to go along and trust government so much that you basically become a ward of the government, a child, and children don't make good decisions. They do need someone to take care of them, right? So we have become like children. And I talk too soon, everybody. My nose is running again. Who? Okay, listen. I don't know what that's about. I just said it stopped doing it. Give me a minute. The difference is I won't let it run on camera. I don't know why it does it, but I guess I spoke too soon. Okay, so the thing that we got into, okay, back to my thought. The thing that we allowed to become normalized. It's just like what I'm saying here. This Balenciaga ad, it's like they're pushing the boundaries of acceptable culture. And are we going to allow this? Are we going to wear clothes that are destroyed, full destruction, it said, of the shoes? Is that okay? It's almost like they're trolling poverty. It's not kind. It's psychopathic to do that, to wear shoes that are fully destroyed. And if they do this, it's being done. They don't mean, they're not sincere about the apology. They know that they have to go through the, oh, let's apologize. That's all part of the plan, I believe. This is how I'm seeing it. And I'm not going to say allegedly. I mean what I say, Balenciaga. You're trying to normalize degeneracy. Whoever is a Balenciaga decision maker, this is not okay. And I don't know how we're going to do it, other than I'm just talking on a platform saying I don't agree with it. And I'm not going to participate in it anymore, because it is insanity. And again, like what Kev said, when you come out of that and you begin to repent and you want God to bring his truth, his wisdom, and you want to have an appetite for truthful things, no matter how uncomfortable and triggering it is. You want to be exposed to more and more truth. You are okay with it. So when you start to consume more truth that comes from God, because God is truth, and you wake up to the fact that you've been insane, so you can plead that you are not guilty. You could try. I mean, you could plead whatever you want. It's up to you. It's between you and God. Whatever God accepts for you, he is a forgiving Father. So that's a deep thing when I thought about it. We're not guilty by means of insanity. This culture is insane. Is absolutely insane and psychopathic. So people that run ads like this, people that head up Balenciaga and some of these other fashion houses, they are very dark people. They engage in very dark practices and belief systems, and they don't like us, the ones that are opposed to it. They don't like us. They think that we're like cattle. They don't even care that they've offended us, because they are elite. They can wear destroyed shoes that cost almost $2,000. That is such a decadence, and it's very cynical decadence when you would even think to do something like that. Wear clothing that's destroyed. Why? When I look back at the 1800s and the pictures that I share online, and you look at the clothing, I've shared some pictures of the women, and they have the beautiful princess sleeves and the nice singed in waist, and just beautiful skirting to the dresses, very feminine. And you think about all the work that went into making the beautiful clothing. I look at those pictures and I see how Disney took those ideas for the princess sleeves and stuff. And the women had a regal beauty, just a regal beauty. Now, the beauty is different. And I'll talk about that another time. I do want to talk about beauty and what has happened and has evolved into what we're seeing now. I have some thoughts about that, so I'll bring that up at another time. So, looking at the difference of how we were, and Kev often says, like, when we were standing upright, we were lawful people, we were logical, and we gravitated towards wisdom. We had crafts. We did things like this. We made things like this. Okay, look at the detail. We were about quality. Look at that scalloping right there. You know, you're not going to go to Target and buy this. This stuff is legacy. And now it's like disposable. Things are disposable. And fashion is fast fashion, headed by people that are psychopaths. So, Balenciaga, what'll happen to them? Kim Kardashian, being a face of the brand, she doesn't have to make any comments. She doesn't have to say anything in this current culture of it doesn't matter. There are no consequences. You know, they are pushing the boundaries, obviously. So they call them mea culpas. Let me look that mea culpa. Who knows what mea culpa means? Oh, let me put the spoon over there. Okay, mea culpa. I knew what it was, but I want to give it a mea culpa. Oh, mea culpa is a Latin phrase that means my fault. My fault. It is an acknowledgement of having done wrong. So a mea culpa. Mea culpa. Mea culpa. How do you say it? Mea culpa. So they can do the mea culpas and then everybody forgets about it. It's the next thing, off to the next scandal. And they monetize it, even though they say they take it down, the ad. It's still something that doesn't seem to harm them. I don't know. This time it feels different, though. I feel like, okay, let me get a little sip of something here. I think this time might be different. And it may be my wishful thinking, but I feel like this is their last hurrah. You know, this is now coming to the surface and they're just getting the fullness of this whatever system as it is dying. So they are becoming more desperate. So I don't see this being in the long run something good for Balenciaga. It may be a little blip that they could monetize, but in the long run, I believe that this is a season of this is the time when people are falling. We are able to see the fall of many companies, many people literally falling, like Paul Romano says, dropping like flies. So it is something to behold. And again, like somebody said, I think it was you, who was that? Mercedes said, it's not for the faint of heart to witness these days. It's very challenging, you know. And these mea culpas that they do, it's like abusive. It feels very insincere and it's just abusive. It's like they've already shown us something that's reprobate, you know, a reprobate, a degenerate. And they're unrepentant. Just saying I'm sorry doesn't explain how did we get here. How do you have people that work at your company that signed off and greenlit this? Are you going to show accountability in terms of like transparency, how you come to these decisions? Like what's being done? Nothing. So yeah. But again, I wanted to, did I say this already? I like Jimmy Dore. Okay, Jimmy Dore is a liberal. He's a Democrat liberal. And I liked him ever since I found him. I think I found Jimmy's content maybe 2 years ago. And this is before he had the experiences that he has now had gone through. So Jimmy Dore has a show, and he's always been to me one of those kind of liberals that I remember growing up, like liberal people that they were against war. They were against GMO foods, don't mess with the food. They were only into organic, like they went to co-op farmers markets. They were my kind of like people. I like those kind of liberals. I don't know where they are anymore. Maybe they're offline, but they don't like wars. They like fairness. And now it's different. But when you come across someone like Jimmy Dore, he's like a Kennedy Democrat. He's reasonable to me. He's balanced. But one thing I've noticed from Jimmy Dore lately, he is way conservative now. He's way, like, I don't know what you would even say. It's hard to label what a lot of us are. We don't fit into these boxes. But Jimmy Dore was vax injured. Okay, so he took the Jabadoos and he had a bad reaction. He talked about it and he lost a lot of friends. His liberal friends, like he's a comedian, and he talked about like his comedian friends were like mad at him just because he's talking about what happened to him. He was injured and he wasn't allowed to share his lived experience. People were canceling him, not like throwing away friendship over it. So he went through a hard time. I think it's even harder for somebody like him, more so us. Like we were already off of the Democrat plantation, a lot of us. We had walked away years ago, and we already like, well, the Republicans, we weren't really like, a lot of us were like, I don't like them either. I'm kind of an independent. I like what the Republicans, the conservative part of the Republican Party, but whatever else, the neocon part of it, the Liz Cheney part of it, the Bush, Dick Cheney, we don't like them. Condoleezza Rice, we don't like them. But Jimmy is going through a harder time because he was a part of that establishment, like thinking in terms of, I think he was always more fair and balanced, but he was loyal to the talking points of, I think, the Democrats, but he did it in a different way. I could listen to him even when before his injury and his current stance. I could listen to Jimmy. I liked him. I even mentioned that I liked Jimmy in one of our truther circles, and I even had somebody attack me. They were like, oh, he's this, and they were like, they put something in the comment. I was like, okay, chill. I'm not saying that he's perfect. I'm just saying, like, I can hang out like on the porch with Jimmy Dore. I could talk to him. He's easy to talk to, I could tell. If he's, I'm sensing he's pretty much what you see is what you get kind of person. I don't think he's putting on an act or anything. But I like him. I just have to say. You're independent, Phyllis. He got red pilled, like, and that level of red pilling, to get red pilled because you got injured from a jab, that's a heck of a red pill. My heart goes out to him, and I know it's a hard road, but he gets a lot of love, by the way. If you look at his chat, he gets a lot of love from the conservatives, the right wing conservative Republicans. They're all over there. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't know what the makeup of his listening group is, but he gets a lot of love. Hopefully that means something, and it's a little easier. But I'm just thinking it's got to be really hard for someone like him to get turned on by the people that you were really entrenched with. So, but I guess it's not too much different from a lot of like us, right? I don't know. It just seems different. And I said this earlier. I want to repeat this. I caught Christian Walker. He has a podcast called Uncancelable. Christian Walker is the son of Herschel Walker. And I don't know. I know this is probably something that people will be offended by because Christian Walker is very flamboyant. And I know he said some pretty nasty things about his dad. A lot of people are not going to give him for that. 1 minute, you all. The nose again. So Christian Walker yesterday, I don't know, it was a while, I think maybe a couple of weeks ago, he did this sort of live stream or whatever. And it was so funny, you guys. It was so funny. And he is conservative. So what do you think about that? Do you like? I know, like, okay, a lot of Christian people would have a problem with me liking him because they're like, well, whatever, his lifestyle. Listen, I love people, and like, this has always been a thing with me, with people that are part of the LGBTQ, whatever communities. I have no problem. I love a lot of people that are in that. It doesn't matter. I just love people. I don't have to care about what you're doing in your private life. I mean, it's no bearing on me. But, Christian is, he's pretty outspoken. But his talking points were all, I agreed with all of them, just about. And I was laughing. He had me cracking up. And you know what I was thinking? I was like, Christian, okay, I can't judge the stuff that, like, he's a wild card. He'll say whatever. He's very unfiltered. And he just reminds me, like, if like my daughter is similar like that. If when I'm having conversations with her and she's talking fast, he talks and it's like real fast, clips and real witty. And like my daughter is like that. And I was like, I can't judge, okay? I can't judge Herschel Walker because of Christian. I can't do that. Like, some people might do that. Like, I know they had their personal thing. I don't know where they are in their relationship because a lot of us are not close with our parents. We have issues, with a parent. And we got to work them out. So I hope they get to work out their issues because, you don't want to see it happen, especially publicly. But I was just thinking, like, I can't judge what happened between them. Like, his son has basically a conservative point of view. And he has a way of expressing it that is his. He's very over the top. And I tend to I used to really gravitate to guys like him. And people would get mad at me too. They're like, stop egging him on. Like at work in Atlanta at Grady, the most flamboyant guys with their talk. And they would love what I was wearing and, just banter back and forth. And I loved it. I always loved it. It's not that I'm encouraging. And that's what someone wants, like one of my Christian friends, when I was really churchy, they're like, don't encourage that. I'm not encouraging anything. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. But I really like Christian, And he could be he reminds me a little bit of my daughter. I don't know what it is. Like a little bit like the little snappy, whatever. And I was, a lot of us have children that they have a very strong opinion and very strong personality. They're very intelligent. So it's a challenge as a parent to keep a certain, whatever, when you have a really strongly opinionated, very intelligent child, you have to sit back sometimes and just let them be, right? Let them be outspoken. You don't have to criticize everything or debate everything, right? So I just think he was really funny to me. And a lot of us have had, circumstances where our children, once they go to college, you notice they're different. They're different. They may not share the same way of thinking, and you kind of learn who they are again because they've changed when they went to college, right? You sent them as one person, and they come back kind of as another person. And that probably happened with me. My mom probably noticed that. I went to college and came back a different person. You kind of think you're really smart and stuff. So yeah, so that's wow. We've been talking for almost 3 hours. You've been hanging out with me for a while. Let me see what Shawnee said. Church folk love to tell people what to do. They do, right? I was a church folk. I'm not a church folk anymore. You said Christians based. Yes, he's based. He does pop up on my feed like he used to. Oh, he doesn't. Oh, he doesn't. They probably have maybe shadow banned him somewhat. But he really like tickled me. It was just so funny. And I don't hold anything against him is what I wanted. I don't hold anything against him. No judgment. Again, I hope he and his father work out their differences. That's, the most I would want. Gladys says, I'm a fag hag. Guilty as, I was called that, okay? Because when you live in Atlanta, because Atlanta it's no secret, it's a very gay-friendly city. They call it the Black Gay Mecca. So the more the Black gays are in great numbers, and they have like very high economic profiles and just very interesting people, movers and shakers. I have met and know some very amazing, people, just creative and everything, that are part of the LGBTQ community in Atlanta. And when I worked in Atlanta around them, a lot of, they would teach me the vernacular. So I know how to use a lot of their vernacular, but that was something that one of them called me. That was the name, because they were like, you just like them and they like you so much. And I was like, I can't help it. Like, I even worked when I was in college, when I was at Spelman, I worked at the Marriott Marquis. Yes, I worked when it first opened. So yes, I'm dating myself. I was one of the first groups of people that worked at the Marriott Marquis. And I worked at the Hyatt Regency, the one I worked at the Hyatt. I worked at Steak and Ale. These were all my like college jobs. But when I worked at the Marriott Marquis, I worked around a lot of gay waiters. And our kitchen at the time, we shared a kitchen with the really high 5-star restaurant. And my restaurant was more of a cafe, just like a middle range. And then there was another, like, it was a lot of restaurants at the Marriott Marquis back then. But this one restaurant that shared the kitchen with us, they wore very, very fancy, like, the whole, like, what is it called? What do you guys wear? The thing that you guys wear, you look like a penguin, like a very, very distinguished penguin. So they were, what is it called? Why am I forgetting? Help me, men. What is the thing that you guys wear? It makes you look like a nice penguin. What is it called? A tuxedo. Why did I forget that? I think I need to get out more. Thank you. Okay. Tuxedo. So they wore tuxedos. Okay. The whole thing, the cummerbund and this is the cummerbund. I wore a cummerbund too, but they wore their uniform was like really tailored and fancy. They only hired men though for that restaurant. They looked like models. They were just so beautiful, all of them. And when we would come their side of the kitchen, they had their own chefs and everything. And then we were in the middle and we had our chefs, but we would, we would talk and we would even hang out after work. It didn't matter that they were the fancy ones, but they were so much fun. And one of the guys, like, because I was younger than them. I used to be kind of the younger person. Have you ever been in a situation where you were like the youngest one? I've been in that situation a lot. So I was like the young kid. So they liked me. It was like, she's so cute. It was always, I'm so cute. And because I was working when I was in college. So they just thought I was so cute. They weren't like into college. A lot of them were like professional wait staff. They made lots of money. A lot of them worked for like full time in the restaurants, made amazing tips. This is back in the 80s. Okay, I don't know what it's like now, y'all. But they lived up in the high rise. They were pushing Mercedes. They made a lot of money. Okay, and the cocktail waitresses made a lot of money. So the guys, one of the guys, he was like blonde, blue-eyed, just so cute. I forget his name right now, but he was like Jennifer. He was Southern too. He was like, Jennifer, you come to my house. I have all these gowns, and I've only worn them a few times. And he invited me over once because he was in a like a drag queen. And I hate to say, I know that the thing is going to trigger a lot of people, but this is my lived experience. Don't come at me, okay? So he was a drag queen. What do you call it? He participated in drag queen beauty contests or whatever shows. So he had like, I may have told this story once. He had like beautiful gowns, and he only wore them like once or twice. It's like pageant world, where you get the little pageant dresses and you can only wear them one time. So he was like that, and he had all these gorgeous dresses. So he was like, because I was so thin, and he was like, come over and I'll give you my dresses. And I went over one time and he gave me all these amazing gowns. So I'm just saying, it was super sweet. And it was just such a sweet, I mean, all the guys were just so nice. They would look out for me like big brothers. And it didn't matter their lifestyle. 1 minute, the nose again, hold it. It didn't matter their lifestyle. I didn't care. We just loved each other. It wasn't all this politicized stuff that we see now. Nobody would have accused you of being phobic or hateful. And I noticed like a lot of us used to have honest conversations, and nobody got triggered. Do you remember back then when it's like, if we could get back to having porches again and having conversations. But we would have conversations, and I would ask them questions. They would answer. They never just talked about their personal lives. It was just like nobody had to talk about their personal lives. Nobody had to make a display of anything. Everything was fine. Like, it was just, some people, you could tell. I mean, it wasn't like you couldn't tell, but what I'm saying is that wasn't important to them. It was just, you met them as a person. Like they say, Dr. King says, the content of someone's character. And they were decent, so nice to me, my experience. I didn't have a bad experience. And that's how I connected with them or anybody. It didn't matter. And so I'm just saying, like, you could maybe tell them, like, whatever, I don't understand, whatever. And they weren't mad at you. They would try to help you understand, but it wasn't important that you agreed with what they did personally, privately. That was never a thing. I'm just saying. So I loved how, it was just more peaceful. I don't know. What do you think? I'm just rambling now. Someone said cheese steak sounds really good. Cheese steaks. I love it. Yeah, no kids. That's the main thing. Just leave the kids out of stuff. Let children be innocent and pure. And a lot of them in that community, they are voicing that they don't condone what they're seeing. And that's what's good about Twitter is you hear a lot of diversity of opinion and diversity of background. So you have people on there. I've read a lot of content from people that are part of the LGBTQ community, and they're like, no, don't have children at nightclubs. Don't have children exposed to stuff that you wouldn't have children exposed to, even if it's heterosexual. It's just, we know this stuff. That's the thing. We know what's right and wrong. A lot of us do. It's just it's not I don't know, it's not rocket science. My gay friends are still together after 40 years, unlike my straight friends. There you go. Well, I mean, marriage has been something that it's been hard for straight people. And hey, Dave, love you. Thanks for joining. Shawnee says political correctness killed cordial. Oh, thank you. That's right. We used to have cordial conversations. Yeah. So yeah, the politics. It's been politicized. The time flies. I could be here forever. You have to. Oh my gosh, I know, sis. I can't believe it's been 3 hours. I've just been yapping. So thank you. Let's see. Angelique says finally Disney is being exposed. So that's what I'm saying. This is the stage of this operation where it's now above the surface. So again, we are now there. The normies, as they call them, the people that were like, stop talking about Pizzagate. It's not true. The Wayfair cabinet thing is conspiracy theory. Epstein is conspiracy. It wasn't true. Haiti and the children and Hillary is a saint. Like those people who really like thought Hillary was nice, good person, they're having quite difficult if they're able to process this truth that's flooding. It's hard to ignore truth at this point. You have to really want to cling to lies. Because if you like Balenciaga, if you were somebody who bought pieces of Balenciaga and now you're being faced with this realization, I don't know, it's got to be hard. Meep. That's right, meep. Yes, meep. Yes, that's how you know the marathon continues. Meep. Yes. Let's see what Bronx Patriot says. I'm a former volunteer for our no conspiracies. It's all true. Yeah. They say conspiracy theories are, what do they call it? Future. No, I'm messing it up. It's like a joke. When you forget the joke, the punchline. Tell me what it is. Conspiracy theories are like previews. They're like previews of things to come. Because it turns out that they're true. A lot of them are true. Anyone hear about Disney biolabs where they say some of the children start? Oh, I haven't heard of that. I hadn't heard it, but I heard some other stuff. Disney is just, that's a whole probably 3-4 hour conversation. But I know Girl Code handles a lot of Disney stuff on her channel. If you've been catching up with her with the Disney disclosure, she's got some very, it's just compelling. And you can share it with people who do not believe things. They're still going to Disney. They're spending $200 each on Disney tickets, and they'll be mad at you for saying anything about Disney because they want to continue to be blissful in a Disney reality. I get it. I used to be, I mean, my dad used to take me to Disney all the time. I loved all the rides and all that. I used to look at the movies. My mom would take me to the matinees to see like what is it called? The Apple Dumpling Gang. I used to love the Apple Dumpling Gang. All that kind of stuff. Yep, saw the Disney. Yeah, we're seeing it. So thank you for joining, everyone. Getty Museum, that's right, Angelique. Lots of things going on. So I guess the light went out, my light source. And oh, did I show you this? Let me show you this. Hold it. Get up the rickety chair. I shared it on, here, let me move my book. I shared it on social media, but I wanted to show you the indoor planting. So look at this, bulbs, everyone. Let me see if I can get the light back on. Okay, bulbs. So these are amaryllis and paper whites, and have lots of bulbs here, 6 in this particular one. So they are starting to bloom. I did speak too soon, everybody. One moment. About my nose running during live streaming. Bear with me. Okay. So I had to do a bio. Just take care of things. I didn't want you to have to hear it all. Okay. But that's what I should have done in the first place. All right. So these are easy to do. If you want to have some green and some flowers indoors, you can simply, they call it forcing the bulbs, but you can put them in any kind of container, and you can use those pebbles, or you can use anything. Like I use shells. These are seashells from Cumberland Island, of course, right? And so I have just a little bit of water. Do you see the level of the water? And the root system will find the water. Okay, so you don't want it to be submerged in the water, but just enough. And you see the roots here. They found their way down into the reservoir. And then I use pine cone to give that one. And I just have to check on them and make sure They have just enough water. So this is something nice, right, to have indoors. And then I have a succulent also. Easy plants. Look at the little succulent. Beautiful, right? Cute. Succulent. I love succulents, right? So yeah, right? Beauties. Indoor beautiful. I need more green. My daughter has become quite the green thumb. We have a lot of green thumbs in my family. My Aunt Eleanor is probably the best of them. She could bring your plants back to life after you've killed them. Planticide. She could bring them back to life. But I just want to let you know that I'm just really excited about this. I've never done the bulbs inside. Have you? So anyway, just wanted to show you. You might want to do something like that. You know, just keep some green. Just remember that these are the things that we used to do. And some of us have gotten away from it, but we can get back into it, encourage each other to just, even if you grow things, you may want to have clippings that you share with other people. Thank you, Karen. Karen says the paper whites equal purity, faithfulness, and respect. The amaryllis equals determination, beauty, and love. Thank you so much, Karen. Love you so much, sis. You're the best. You really are. I appreciate you so much. And everybody who's joining, I just love you all. Thank you for hanging out. We'll do more of these. Like I said, I want to hold this space for us. If you're going to be on Twitter, look for me. I would like to do the Twitter spaces, but I need more people so we can do Twitter spaces. Let's check it out, everybody. All right. So, oh, you're growing basil, Corinne? Nice. Your basil is doing good inside. You have a little tree. How nice. I would like to grow an apothecary indoors. Because, you know, you could do the outdoor apothecary. I really want to plan out a nice apothecary garden. And I'll tell you about it, you know, more as I do. But I want an indoor one, too. And start to grow mushrooms. I'm talking about the kind to cook, okay? I'm not judging you if you do mushrooms, though. But I want to grow mushrooms, you know, baby Bellas, and some other kinds. Your twit was blocked even with Elon? Elon blocked you? Or allowed you to be blocked? Not that he would do it, but it was recent? Because I didn't know of people getting blocked. I know they're getting unblocked. If that's your old account, it might get unblocked because he's probably going to do amnesty for everybody who is blocked. And what? I love mentioning Yes. Yes. Thank you, Joseph, for joining. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so I will check you out at another time. I'm going to continue reading the book of Jubilees because we have to finish that. Okay, so I'll let you know when I'm going to finish the book of Jubilees. Is 50 chapters. And I'm at Jubilee 7, so we got a few to go. But if you're willing, I'll have it up. So even if you want to listen to it later, you can listen to it. And we should grow hemp, Dash. Yes, we should. I would love to grow hemp. That's something I'm going to be doing. Absolutely, Dash. Welcome, too. Let's give Dash some love. I haven't seen your name. New people, we love you. Come and join us. We'll be growing things. Yes, I want to grow hemp and all that. I'm going to be doing some experimental gardening. I'll keep you all posted, though. Hey, Paint Dance Live. Thank you for coming by. Loving all the growing and thought of an herbal apothecary garden. You grow oregano for ground cover. Oh, that's good. That's a good ground cover. Woo. Girl Code is working on 4 Disney vids. Oh my goodness. You guys have to check out Girl Code. Got to. With her deep dives. The ones on Disney and in the Queendom, the Monarchs. Oh my goodness. Amazing. That's right, looking. Let's grow. We're growing in all ways, right? You have a small greenhouse. That's nice. The gagging of it all. That's right, girl code. The gagging of it all. Yes. So I will get out of here. I could keep talking. I don't know why today I'm just yapping. I haven't even eaten anything yet. I need to go eat something. That's been the problem. Not well, I told you I do this like intermittent fasting. I've gotten so used to waiting to eat. I'll drink something, a hot beverage, but I have to remind myself to eat. And I'm not saying this to listen. I'm not saying it's the best thing. I'm not trying to encourage any bad habits, but that's my current issue is that I have to make myself eat. I have to remind myself to eat. Before, I used to wake up thinking about what I wanted to eat. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a taste for this today. I have a taste for that today. I want pancakes. I want this. And I would think about food so much. Now I don't think about food. I don't think about the next meal. I'm not obsessed with what I'm eating. It's just, it feels more free. Like I told you, it just taught me to eat to live, not to live to eat. But the thing about when I'm doing this, I lose weight. I lose inches. I don't weigh myself, but I have to watch that I don't lose too much. One of my friends, she's a nurse too. Oh, if I lose too much weight, she'll just be like, Jen, no, you lost too much weight. You have to gain some weight. So I might make some brownies today. And that's the only thing, like when I do want to splurge, I don't feel bad. But being that I've cut down on a lot of sweets because I have a sweet tooth, I don't crave sweets anymore. So I was thinking about making these brownies, but I probably won't eat a lot of them, or maybe I will. We'll see. Mercedes said, I wish I had that problem. Mercedes, I'm not trying to, they say the humble brag. I'm not trying to humble brag, okay? Trust me. I'm just sharing with you that I've lost too much weight on my intermittent fasting, possibly. Not too much. It's just I'm back to my normal thin. This is what my body should look like. Before I was like big booty, it's like, I don't want a big booty anymore. Okay? I don't care. I know guys are like, what? I don't want that attention. All right? So I don't need a big booty. So I'm whatever. You do intermittent fasting and you don't eat until 4. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I would wait until you have your window. You know what intermittent fasting is, a lot of people, right? So you have a window that you eat and the rest you're like, it's just a lifestyle of fasting. And so a lot of you have been doing it. Some people call it keto, whatever. I'm not endorsing anything. You would eat at 4 p.m. except for fruit. Okay, I agree. It feels good. Also, a good meal is more satisfying. Yeah, I'd rather like my meals be really nice and good, complex carbohydrates and nice lean meat and, just clean food. But not that I'm cutting things out. It's just that I don't eat as much as I used to. And it just knocked the obsessing about food. It just took it away. Thank you, Dave. You're so sweet. Thank you. But I just have to, I have to make sure I don't lose too much. Yes, thank you. We're tired of the booty obsession. Thank you. I am so over it. We have to get to something better. Like, I don't want attention for having a big booty. I don't want people that want me because of a big booty. Like that's just, it's so gross now to me. So yeah, so if I lost my big booty, so what? I don't care. Thank you, Karen. Love you, sis. Thank you. I've always been thin, though. I just have to get used to being thin again, because I was always thin, and then I got to be thick, and I don't know. I feel better now being thin. Thank you, girl code. I love you. Thank you. Appreciate you all. I'll see you around, okay? Take care. And I'll let you know about the final, the reading of the rest of Jubilees, because I like it. I'm getting a lot from it. I might do another reading tonight. Just listen out. I'll let you know, okay? If it's not today, it'll be tomorrow, whatever, okay? All right, love you. Take care. This is really bye now. You know how you